A big night for baseball on a beautiful day from the River City. A big crowd expected in the series decider between the Florence Y'Alls and the Evansville Otters. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bosse Field in beautiful Evansville, Indiana. It's time for Otters baseball on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Griffin Epstein joining you on a lovely Thursday evening. It's a big crowd, a lot of promotions this evening at Bosse Field, and the Otters trying to bounce back from a disappointing extra inning defeat last night over Florence to win their fourth straight home series. It was another tight and high drama ball game yesterday evening as the Y'Alls won 5-2 in 10 innings. The game had no runs over the last 4 innings, went into the 10th, and the Y'Alls would end up getting the 5-2 victory with 3 runs, all scoring with 2 outs in the 10th. Otters had the walk-off run at third base in the bottom of the 9th, but couldn't bring him home. What was the problem for Evansville? Walks again. 10 walks and 5 hit batters by Otters pitching last night. Back-to-back uncharacteristic wild days by the Otters pitching staff. They're going to need to turn that around if they want to take the series against the last place Florence Y'Alls. Time to meet the starting lineups this evening. First for the Y'Alls, 27-41 on the season. Tied for last in the Frontier League West, 15.5 games back. Brendan Price, the DH, will lead things off for Florence. Brian Fuentes bats second and plays third base. Ray Zuber bats third and plays center field. Zade Richardson in the cleanup spot and catching. Harrison DeNicola bats fifth and plays first base. Hank Zeisler plays right field and bats sixth. Bottom 3 in the Florence lineup: Ed Johnson, the shortstop, Jeremiah Burks, the second baseman, and Lane Hoover, the left fielder. Carter Spivey, All-American pitcher at East Carolina University, fresh out of college. Reddy will make his third start of his professional career this evening at Bosse Field. On the other side for the Evansville Otters this evening, 37-30 on the season. Otters in playoff position, 3 games back of first place in the Frontier League West, or 5 games back in third place in the Frontier League West, I should say. Their starting lineup this evening: the Edward Jones leadoff batter, Noah Myers, the center fielder. Brian Rosario bats second and plays left field for Evansville. Jeffrey Baez will bat third and DH. Dakota Phillips in the cleanup spot and playing first base. Yomar Reyes bats fifth and plays third base. Ethan Skinder batting sixth and playing shortstop. Bottom 3 in the Otters lineup: Josh Braun, the right fielder, Justin Felix, the catcher, his first game since June 2nd, back from a broken hand, and Austin Bost in his second professional game rounds out the lineup for the Otters, playing second base. The righty Zach Smith on the mound for Evansville, 5-4 this season, a 3.82 ERA. 4 of his 5 wins this season have been at home. Otters looking for another series win at home to make it 4 straight home series wins and take the rubber match, while Florence trying to win just their second road series since early June. It's the Y'Alls, the Otters, Frontier League West rivals, playing for the series in front of a big crowd on a Thursday night. First pitch is next. You're listening to Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and watching on Flow Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America's freedom, those who now protected, and pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice with the singing of our national anthem, led today by the All Saints Children's Choir, who will also be joined by Habitat for Humanity's 500-voice choir. The All-Saints cheering squad, joined by the representatives members 500 for the squad, and our national anthem.
A fantastic national anthem on a fantastic Thursday evening from baseball from Bosse Field. The Otters have taken the field trying to bounce back after their fourth extra inning defeat last night, playing for the series against Florence this evening. Big weekend series coming up for Evansville against Schaumburg, who sits in second place in the West, as these last month of the season, final regular season game will be a month from today. Playoff positioning is big over the last month, but an Otters win today, much needed to try to bring some momentum into a big weekend series against Schaumburg. On the bump today for the Otters, Zach Smith, the righty in his second year in Evansville, 3.82 ERA for Smith, 14th start of the season. He started the year excellent, earned wins in 3 of his first 4 starts. First 3 outings were all quality outings, but hasn't had as much success over the last month. One of his worst starts of the season in his last outing at Lake Erie. Only made it 3 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 7 runs, and walked 4 batters. Did have an excellent start in his last home start against Empire State 2 weekends ago, went 7 strong and allowed just 1 run. Around him on the diamond, Justin Felix back behind the plate catching for the Otters in just his 8th game of the season, back from a broken hand. Dakota Phillips at first, Austin Bost at second base for a second straight evening, Ethan Skinner at short, and Yomar Reyes at third base. Brian Rosario in left field, Noah Myers in center, and Josh Brodin in right field today for Evansville. First time Felix catching Smith this year. That pitcher-catcher battery powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. Brennan Price striding to the plate for Florence, and we're all set for baseball on a lovely Thursday evening from Bosse Field. Had a heavy rain, 1.5 inches of rain overnight. It took a lot of cleanup of the field. It's been cloudy most of the day, but the clouds have parted just in time for baseball. 82 degrees, mostly sunny, a light wind, and a little bit of humidity as well. Fine evening for baseball. Smith is ready, comes home, a first pitch outside to Price, and we're underway. Brennan Price, lefty DH, leading off for the 3rd straight day for Florence. Smith on the right side of the rubber, kicks and throws. Low, 2 balls and no strikes to Price. Excellent crowd on this Thursday evening from Bosse Field. It's a Blue Beach Bash with a variety of beach-themed decorations and activities through the evening. 2-0 on the outside corner, a strike, 2-1. We have a variety of great organizations at the ballpark as well, including Habitat for Humanity. And had a spectacular drumline performance before the game that we'll talk about later in the broadcast. 2-0 to Price. Breaking ball at the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. On the field, both of these first 2 games of this series have been highly entertaining and have gone down to the very last pitch. The Otters won 6-5 on Tuesday night, 2-2. Swing and a miss. Price tied up on a breaking ball inside, 1 away. Otters won 6-5 on Tuesday, and then Florence winning 5-2 yesterday, but in extra innings. Otters had the walk-off run 90 feet away in the 9th inning, but could not score. Josh Brodin. I'll bring up Brian Fuentes, the ready first baseman, with nobody on and 1 out in the top of the 1st. Chris Dykeman behind home plate for our 3-man umpiring crew today. Martin Tim at 3rd and Jim Shalley at 1st. Brian Fuentes takes a first pitch strike on the outer 3rd. Shadows right now on this sunny day at Bosse are just below the waist of Smith. The 0-1, a breaking ball outside, 1-1. So the ball still starting in the sun before it quickly goes into the shade, with the back half of the infield in the shade. The sun came out about an hour before first pitch, just as fans started trickling into the ballpark. 1-1. Oh, look out. Breaking ball up near the head of Fuentes, who ducks out of the way. 2-1. 3-pitch mix for Smith. Fastball, slider, and changeup. Throw home. Sails high. 3 balls and 1 strike to Fuentes. Command's a big thing to watch for Smith on the bump today. In his last start at Lake Erie last week, he walked 4 batters and hit 3. Just never found any sort of rhythm on a Wednesday morning game. 3-1, inside for ball 4, and a walk to Fuentes. Otters pitching has had a rough 2 days of command. 15 free passes offered yesterday by the Otters pitchers, 10 walks and 5 hit batters. Evansville, overall in the series, 26 total walks plus hit batters. Evansville's reason they haven't given up more runs is Florence has squandered chance after chance, in the Otters bullpen especially. He's done a nice job closing out innings, stranding runners. Ray Zuber, lefty batter, takes the first pitch strike for Florence. 1 on, 1 out, just underway in the top of the first, no score. Smith looking into the sun, only have a few more minutes of it. By the time he comes out for the second inning, he'll be in the shadows. 0-1 home. On the outside corner, a strike, 1-1, or 0-2 make it to Zuber. Stands are really filling up here at Bosse Field. This is going to be certainly a top 10 crowd on the season. Thursday night's always a big night here at Bosse. 0-2 home. Misses low. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Zuber. Always helps to have a big crowd in attendance on a Thursday. The Otters have been excellent here at home on Thursdays. 4-1 on the season at home. The 2 biggest crowds of the season, both on Thursdays. Smith steps off, throw back to first, and Fuentes steps back on the back. Smith grabs the rosin back behind home plate, and gets back set up on the right side of the rubber. Black glove for Smith as he looks into Felix. 1-2 pitch. Foul tipped off the end of the bat and back off the back of the foot of Zuber to the backstop. Florence has to love the patience that they've had all series with the 26 total free passes they've earned. But they've stranded 29 runners through the first 2 games, and last night stranded 17. If Florence just converted really 1 or 2 chances with runners in scoring position, they would have won the game without going to extras. The 1-2 is hit hard into center field. Coming in Myers, sliding ball off his glove and bounces to his left. Down to third will go Fuentes. A base hit for Zuberer. Kona Quiggle not playing today for the Otters. Noah Myers in center field and couldn't come up with the ball on a sliding catch. It bounced off of his glove and skidded to his left. So runners on the corners with 1 out, and it brings up Zade Richardson. Base hit for Zuberer. Y'alls struck first on Tuesday with the 3-run home run by Richardson. Yesterday, the Otters scored in the first inning. Smith delivers inside again. Richardson make it, ducks out of the way. Richardson hit the 3-run home run for the Y'alls on Tuesday. There's 2 hits on the series. It's the only home run between these 2 sides. 1-0 swing and a miss, 1-1. Otters had a great power surge to start the second half of the season after the All-Star break. But now 3 games in a row without a home run. First time that long of a drought since before the All-Star break. 1-1. Fouled away off the screen in front of the Otters dugout. And Jeffrey Baez makes a nice catch off the screen. Otters have moved a lot of guys around on the field over the last few days. Austin Boast, a new addition to the Otters from Texas A&M, recent Aggie graduate. Second straight start to his pro career at second base, and Ethan Skinder shifting over to short. George Khalil out of the lineup for a second straight day for Evansville. Pitch sails high to Richardson, 2-2. Josh Broughton has had to play everywhere in his first couple weeks as an Otter. Traded from Tri-City. He was in center field last night, making his second start of the season in right field this evening. Brian Rosario making his third straight start for the Otters. He's in left field tonight. 2-2. Poked down the first base line. Phillips will give it a look, but it bounces off the roof. Zuber was going on the pitch, but he'll have to go back to first. Well, quickly, this first inning feeling very reminiscent of the first 2 days for Florence. A lot of foul balls, long at-bats, and working walks, creating a lot of long games. Last night's game, well over 3 hours, 3 hours and 24 minutes. 2-2, swing and a miss, ball in the dirt. Felix will throw down to second. The ball skipped off the mound and still got to Bosse, but Zuber is safely at second. Fuentes saves at third. But the second strikeout for Smith, and there's 2 away. They'll bring up Harrison DeNicola, the first baseman. So Fuentes at third, Zuber at second, and guess what? Deja vu again for the Y'alls. They have multiple runners in scoring position. Can they drive them in? They finally did in the 10th inning last night with 2 outs, scoring 3 runs. Ended up getting the 5-2 win. Time is called. DeNicola will reset in the left-handed batter's box before facing Smith. Pitch home. Outside, 1-0 to DeNicola. Otters could badly use a long start this evening from Zach Smith. It's been a busy last couple days for Evansville's bullpen. 1-0. Breaking ball at the knees, a called strike, 1-1. Otters used a season-high 6 pitchers on Tuesday and then 5 last night. Braden Scott exited Tuesday's start with blisters on his throwing hand. And then Austin Gossman yesterday evening for Evansville made it into the 4th inning, but was relieved there. 1-1. Inside, ball bounces away from Felix. Fuentes starts to come down the line and then quickly retreats back to the bag as Felix kept it on the dirt. Justin Felix certainly excited to be back playing for the Otters. Started 7 games for Evansville in the first couple weeks of the season and then broke his hand right at the beginning of June and finally off the IL today. Back to play in the final month of the Otters season. Evansville certainly happy to have him back. 2-1 is lined left side, playing it back on up is Skinder. Long throw to first in time to beat DeNicola. And the Otters and Smith escape the jam in the top of the first. No scores. We move to the bottom of the first on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Pitcher catcher battery for the Florence Y'Alls. Otters finally starting on the mound. Zane Richardson behind the plate. Pitcher catcher battery is powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East. 2319 North River Road.
Back at Bosse Field, bottom of the first inning. No score between the Otters and the Y'Alls. Cotter Spivey, former East Carolina Pirate, on the bump this evening for the Y'alls, making his third start of his professional career. Off to a shaky start to his pro career. 10 total innings pitched, has allowed 8 runs and 12 hits, 6 walks to 7 strikeouts. Spivey went 6 innings in his last outing against Schaumburg, but allowed 4 earned runs on 7 hits, and a little bit of struggle with his command to start his Y'alls time with 6 walks in those 10 innings pitched, but an extremely talented pitcher. Was the American Conference Pitcher of the Year in 2022 for ECU. Sade Richardson is the catcher for Florence. Harrison DeNicola at first, Jeremiah Burks at second, Ed Johnson at short, and Brian Fuentes at third. Lane Hoover in left, Ray Zuber in center, Hank Seisler in right field for Florence. They're going to have to contend with this tough sunshine on a Thursday evening. The commissioner of the Frontier League, Steve Tashler, is walking off the field. I don't know what he was doing on the field, but we know all the rules are being followed with the commissioner here tonight. Noah Myers takes the first pitch strike at the letters. Otters are in all-white uniforms for the first time this week. Blue numerals on the back. Otters written in script right across the chest. Blue belts with white pants and blue socks. A 1 popped up by Myers into left field, taking Hoover back. Under the ball, reaches up the glove, makes the catch, 1 away. So Myers flies out to start the game for Spivey, and he'll bring up the switch hitter, Brian Rosario, batting lefty. Y'alls are in their same uniforms of the last 3 days, baby blue tops with Y'alls written in red across the chest, white outline numerals on the back, gray pants, blue hat with a red brim, and the red Y on the front of the cap. Ready, Spivey on the right side of the rubber, comes home. Sails high, 1-0 to Rosario. A slow first couple days to the week for the Otters offense. They mustered just 6 hits each of the first 2 days. Rosario shows bunt, pulls it back. Pitch misses inside, 2-0. Otters did work a fair amount of walks, but against a woeful pitching staff, 2-0 is fouled off the screen, 2-1. Otters certainly would have liked more than 8 runs through the first 2 games against the Y'alls pitching staff that enter the week as the 3rd worst in the Frontier League in terms of ERA. And runs allowed as well. 2-1, sails high, 3 balls and 1 strike to Rosario. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the first inning. No score between Florence and Evansville. The series on the line on a lovely Thursday evening in front of a huge crowd. 3-1. At the knees, a strike and a full count to Rosario. Rosario will call time and reset. Spivey's ready to go on the mound, but Rosie using that 1 disengagement to dig back in. One way to use it, not only to stop yourself, but you can get a pitcher out of his rhythm. Payoff home. Fouled straight back, and Rosario stays alive. Rosie bumped up to back second in the lineup today for the Otters after batting in the 9th spot his first 2 days in the order. Had 3 walks yesterday for the Otters and a stolen base as well. Another payoff coming home. Spivey sized the shoulders and delivers. Inside for ball 4. Another walk for Rosario. It's his 4th of the series. After 3 yesterday, and the Otters have their first base runner, 1 on with 1 out. Spivey is a very talented pitcher. His accolades at East Carolina are book-worthy long, but command certainly has been a problem for him, as it's been for a lot of Florence pitchers in his first 2 outings. 3 walks apiece in his first 2 starts. Guy that was primarily a reliever for East Carolina. Made 10 starts with them this past spring. Starting as a full-time starter for Florence in his pro career. Spivey steps off, throws back to first. Rosario steps back on the back. Rosario attempted a steal on the first 2 pitches. First 2 times he's on base yesterday. Doesn't here as Jeffrey Baez takes the first pitch strike. Rosario at first, 1 out. Already Baez at the plate. Rosario stole second successfully his first time on base and then was thrown out second time. Another pickoff throw back to first. Rosario dives back in safely under the pickoff throw. Rosario taking a huge lead at first. He'll take off, got a huge jump. Baez pulls down the bunt. Good throw down to second, not in time though. Rosario in safely. Well, Spivey used both disengagements, and because he didn't catch Rosario, it's almost like you just give up the stolen base with a guy as fast as Rosie. Took a massive lead, and as soon as Spivey started his windup, took off, and it was a good throw by Richardson, but never stood a chance. Rosario is 38th stolen base of the season. That puts him now in a tie for second entering the evening in the Frontier League. He's got dirt all over his white jersey now. Spivey steps off again and watches Rosario back to second. This is what Brian Rosario does. He doesn't just steal bases, but can really bother the heck out of a pitcher. 0-2. Poked into right field, coming in, Zeisler can't find it, it bounces in front of him. Rosario's held at third. Zeisler throw in, goes over the head of Richardson, back off the backstop. Now Rosario's in a rundown at third. Running at him as Spivey throws back to third. Didn't get him as Rosario's back to the bag under the tag. And Baez at second. What a bizarre sequence of events. Baez at second, Rosario third with one out. Rosario kind of watched Spivey for a second and somehow got back to the bag before the tag was laid down by Fuentes. Stop sign was put on Rosario at third as the ball was not hit very hard by Baez and died pretty quickly, but Zeisler airmailed the throw home to Richardson over his head, and then Rosario started to take off, but a good job by Spivey, who was backing up. Seemingly caught Rosario, but he got back, and Baez went all the way to second. So runners at second and third with one out for the lefty catcher, Dakota Phillips. Playing first base today. Throw home, misses outside, 1-0. We got a base hit by Baez and then an error on Zeisler in right. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes to Phillips. Shadows have crept over almost all of the infield, except back beyond the second base bag. Ed Johnson, the shortstop, blocking his eyes right now, staring right into the sunshine. He's on the edge of the outfield grass. Baez takes a pretty big lead at second. 2-0, outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Phillips. Swing and a miss. Phillips swinging away on a 3-0 and foul tipped it into the glove of Richardson. Both of the first 2 games of this series taking well over 3 hours. 3 hours, 14 minutes on Tuesday. 3 hours, 28 minutes last night. Second longest game of the Otters season. This has been a long first inning in the series finale. 3-1, swing and a miss again. Spivey has worked back from a 3-0 count to work it full. Rosario at third, Baez at second with 1 out in the bottom of the first. No score between Evansville and Florence. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Cutter from Spivey out of the zone, getting Phillips to chase 3 straight swings and misses. 2 away in the first. Big strikeout for Spivey. Brings up Yomar Reyes. Still 2 on and now 2 out in the bottom of the first. Reyes trying to break out of a slump. He has not reached base in his last 4 games. 0 for his last 17. Big righty batter. Spivey delivers. Swing and a miss. 0-1. A walk and a base hit and an error, putting runners at second and third here for Evansville in the bottom of the first. Florence had runners at second and third in the top half of the inning and couldn't score. 0-1. Swing and a miss again. Reyes chasing one outside of the zone. It's a fastball, cutter, and slider for Spivey. Fastball at 93. Cutter just below 90. And a slider at about 82 with really good break. Guy that's got all the tools to be pitching for an affiliated team at some point. Spivey sets at the belt, throws high, 1-2 to Reyes. Otters has stranded 8 runners of their own in both games, the first 2 of this series. 1-2. Lined right side, one hopper right to the glove of the second baseman. Burks throws to first in time to beat Reyes. The Otters strand 2 in the bottom half of the first. No score after 1 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Deep blue indoor play is the most exciting place to host your next birthday party. Moviegoers will be able to play in a massive 85-foot playground and climb 20 feet up on 11 climbing.
Flow Baseball on Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Budweiser. Plenty of fans on this Thursday evening with big cups of beer on a Thursday with discounted drafts and cans. It's a beautiful, little bit warm maybe, but sunny and hot early August evening here from Bosse Field. No score between the Otters and the Y'alls with the series on the line. Both teams stranded 2 runners in scoring position in the top of the first inning. Go to the top of the second. Zach Zeisler, the right fielder, leads off for Florence. Zach Smith, not an easy first inning for him. He needed 25 pitches in the first to escape. Lines home to Zeisler. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Can Zach Smith find the rhythm that had him one of the more dominant pitchers in the Frontier League in June? Smith had a period of 18 straight innings from the bump, not allowing a run. 1-0. On the outside corner, a strike 1-1. His first 3 outings were all quality outings. Exited with the lead in his first 4 starts of the season. I mean, he felt borderline untouchable. Had a strong June. 1-1. Breaking ball on the inside corner. Pretty pitch for a strike. 1-2. But things have trailed off a little bit for Smith. 3 of his last 5 starts losses, but all 3 of those losses on the road. He's been much better at home this season. 5-1 in home starts, while he's 0-3 in road starts. 1-2. Lined up the middle, over to the right. Bosse to backhand it, gloves it, throws to first. 1 away. Now, Austin Bosse has played a really nice second base in his first 2 starts of his professional career. Looked very comfortable at second, primarily where he played this past year with Texas A&M. SEC is playing in even front of bigger crowds than this, over likely I'd say over 4,000 on this Thursday night. But Bosse has played in Omaha, so some big stages for him, not easily rattled. 1 out, nobody on for another SEC player. Ed Johnson, recent graduate from Alabama, takes the first pitch high for a ball. 9th game of the season for Johnson. Tresville, Alabama native. 1-0. Popped up, right side. Broaden the right fielder, running near the line. Still going under the baseball, makes the jogging catch right at the foul line. 2 quick outs for Smith here to start the second.
Batting at second base, 7, Jeremiah Burks.
2 outs, nobody on for Jeremiah Burks, the second baseman. No score between the Otters and the Y'alls. Smith delivers. Fastball right down the middle, 0-1. Breaking ball at the letters or at the knees for a strike. 0-2. It's the fastball by Smith. The pretty changeup at the knees, and now all sorts of chances here to get Burks out. The 0-2, another breaking ball chopped out. Smith just couldn't get any chance to find his rhythm in that last out against Lake Erie with 4 walked batters, 3 batters hit. There was runners in scoring position every inning he worked in. Just kind of filled out of sorts. 0-2. Breaking ball is low, 1-2. For a lot of pitchers, they pitch a lot better at home because routine and rhythm find their groove a lot easier. That's certainly been the case for Zach Smith this season. And it helped 4 of his first 5 starts this year. We're here at Bosse Field. 1-2. Check swing on a ball in the dirt. Burks win around. Strike 3 called. 3rd strikeout for Smith in the inning, and he works an in order. Top of the second. No scores. We move to the bottom of the second on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
It's time to see who gets to upgrade to the Ashley Furniture Home Store Best Seats in the House. Our lucky winner will get to spend the rest of the game with Best Seats in the House. Our winner, a lot of new names. We're going to roll with Robbie Skaggs and Danielle Skaggs. I'm told it's Robbie's birthday, so happy birthday to Robbie Skaggs. It's his birthday. On the count of 3, let's wish Robbie a very happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to Robbie. Enjoy the rest of the game in the Ashley Furniture Home Store. Best seats in the house.
Welcome back to Bosse Field. What a great crowd on a Thursday night. No score between the Otters and the Y'alls with the series on the line. Kicking off the month of August and the final month of the regular season here in the Frontier League. Big a night for baseball. There's raffles going on. Had an excellent drumline performance before the game. Habitat Humanity, a big sponsor of this evening. Eyewitness News as well, as is the Deep Blue Park as well here in Evansville. A Blue Beach Bash evening. Octopus hung up. Cardboard cutouts of octopus, not actual octopi. Beach balls as well, and I'm told we have a sea creature race later in on the evening. On the field, scoreless between Evansville and Florence. Ethan Skinder leads off the bottom of the second. Spivey ready on the bump, delivers a strike of the knees to Skinder. Florence retired in order in the top of the second. That's just the second time all series they've ended inning where they didn't have a base runner. 0-1. Sails high, 1-1. Skinder back-to-back starts at shortstop for Evansville. George Khalil on the bench. Just his 6th start at shortstop all season. 1-1. High chopper, foul down the third base line. Ethan Skinder fouls more balls off down the left field line than anyone else I've seen all year in the Frontier League. Andy McCauley, the Otters manager and third base coach, must just be ready when he sees Skinner come into the plate. He knows balls are going to be coming his way. McCauley having a chat right now with Martin Tim down the third baseline, third base umpire, maybe saying just that. 1-2 count to Skinner. Spivey throws. High, 2-2 to Skinner. Two. Lined into right field. Zeisler fighting the sun, looking up right under it and makes the catch. Got some big sunglasses on. Those certainly coming in use this evening. Used the glove to block the sun for a second, and the ball coming right to him for the first out of the second. Well, the sun out now, but we got really heavy rain overnight. It started about 30 minutes after the finale of last night's game and continued into the early morning. Josh Broughton stands to the plate and swings and misses the first pitch. Got 1.5 inches of rain. Tons of large puddles all over the field. The tarp was on, and it took a while to both clear the tarp off and then take the tarp off. 0-1. Strike on the outside corner, 0-2. It's the infield in great shape, and the excellent groundskeeper at Bosse Field, Dan, has done an incredible job. But left and right field, especially shallow left and right, are going to be pretty damp. 0-2, swing and a miss. Nasty slider from Spivey falling out of the zone. Broughton chasing 2 away. Two outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the second, and Justin Felix will come to the plate in his first at bat. All the way since June 2nd. A little extra louder applause for the crowd. Esta Baila Sola, his new walk-up song. In the bottom of the second. First pitch to Felix. Strike on the inner third. Last played on June 2nd at Joliet. Had 4 hits in his first 7 games. 4 for 21, a 190 batting average. 0-1. Sails outside, 1-1. Reached base though in all 7 games. Had 4 walks. Second year with the Otters, played in 68 games last year for Evansville at 226, but had great pop with 11 home runs. 1-1. Low, 2 balls and 1 strike to Felix. Certainly an integral part of this Otters team. Leadership, catcher, and a great defender for Evansville. A guy who, even though he was hurt at times, was traveling with the team and a vocal leader. 2-1, swing and a miss. Fastball by Spivey up and away, 2-2. Spivey at the belt. Kicks, delivers. High and a full count to Felix. Payoff pitch home. High for ball 4. Felix works a walk in his first at bat back here at Bosse Field in 2 months. Has to feel good, and he'll bring up Austin Bosse. 2 young guns here in Spivey and Bosse. Bosse just the second ever Otter to be born in 2000. Spivey, born in October of 1999, 2 of the youngest players in the Frontier League here. Ready, Bosse went 0 for 3 in his debut yesterday. Takes the first pitch for a ball. 0 for 3, but did lay down a good sacrifice bunt in the 9th inning for Evansville to put the walk-off run in scoring position. Otters couldn't bring Josh Broughton home. 1-0. Strike at the letters, 1-1. Bosse got here early today, taking some extra drills at second base, along with Yomo Reyes, who is over at third, and Andy McCauley. 1-1. lined right side and foul off the end of the bat and trickling all the way to the Otters bullpen. One-two, swing and a miss. Breaking ball by Spivey, strikes out Bosse. 3 strikeouts for Spivey through 3. Works around a walk for a scoreless second. After 2, no score between Florence and Evansville on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
It is a Budweiser Thirsty Thursday. Don't forget those domestic specials here at the ballpark tonight. Saying hello to Bayer Crop Science in Section 3. Great to have Bayer Crop Science with us. Also, it's great to have Ryder here celebrating birthday number 10. On the count of 3, let's say happy birthday to Ryder. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to Ryder. He's in Section 4. And I'm also saying hello to Dylan Mofield, who's at the game this evening. He is a UE student and avid Otters fan, I'm told. So, great to have Dylan Mofield here at Bosse Field on the Budweiser Thirsty Thursday. The Purple Ice getting ready for academics in a couple of weeks, no doubt.
Back at Bosse Field, time to take a look at the Frontier League standings, brought to you by Seal Corp. Gateway in the West leads Schaumburg by 1 game. The Otters 5 games back of Gateway in 3rd place, while Florence sitting in dead last in the West, tied with Lake Erie at 27 and 41, 15 and a half games back of 1st in the West. No score here on the series decider between Florence and Evansville. In the top of the 3rd, Lane Hoover, a lefty, takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Tri-City won their 9th in a row yesterday in the East. They have it a game and a half up entering the evening on New Jersey. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The Otters this weekend, for the first time since June, will play Schaumburg. Otters haven't played Gateway or Schaumburg since June. 2-0. Outside again, 3-0 to Hoover. So it'll be a huge series with Schaumburg in 2nd, entering the evening 4 games up on Evansville. And the Otters will see Schaumburg and both Gateway both once more in the final week of the season. 3-0. On the outside corner, a strike. 3-1 to Hoover. Smith winds, throws. At the letters, a strike and a full count to Hoover. Payoff pitch. Outside for ball 4. A walk to Hoover. You have a group of friends or coworkers who wish to come to historic Bosse Field and enjoy an Otters home game, contact the Otters front office to reserve a party deck on the Corona Extra Patio Deck. The Corona Extra Patio Deck is one of the best places to watch the game with an all-you-can-eat menu and unlimited bottled water and soft drinks. Call 812-435-8686 for more information on how you can book your next celebration. Leadoff batter aboard in Hoover here in the top of the 3rd. Back to the top of the order, and Brennan Price. Big lefty takes a first pitch strike. Price struck out his first time up in the 1st inning. The reigning Frontier League Player of the Week. Hit 5 home runs, batted in 13, and hit .522 in 6 games last week. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. First time through the order for Smith. 2 walks, allowed 1 base hit and 3 strikeouts. 1-1. Check swing by Price. He couldn't hold up. Change up by Smith, looking really sharp today. Dove into the dirt. Smith steps off, throw back to first. Hoover beats the tag. All the infield in the sun shining out in deep right, as well as most of center field. Noah Myers, the center fielder, still looking right in to the setting sun on a lovely Thursday evening from Bosse Field. After a lot of rain over the last 24 hours, the sun is out and the crowds have packed Bosse. 1-2, outside corner, strike 3 called. Nasty breaking ball by Smith. One away. The stuff is good tonight for Zach Smith. His changeup is looking nasty. It's been a good rhythm so far for Zach Smith. A couple of walks, but looking far more like himself this evening to start. 1 on, 1 out for the ready Brian Fuente. Smith steps off again and throws back the direction of Hoover, who's in safely to first. Fuentes walked back in the first inning. Smith delivers. Hoover takes off. Throw down to second's a good one. Out is Hoover. Justin Felix on the money. Gives a little shrug back to the Otters dugout. Saying that wasn't much, but in his first game back in 2 months, a bullet of a throw down to second. And Bosse applies the tag right on the helmet of Hoover. Just like that, 2 outs. Well, Florence is not too happy about the call. Martin Tim, the third base coach, made the call. And it's not Chad Rhodes out there, but it's one of the other coaches for Florence. Talking with third base coach Martin Tim. It's the first argument we've had between coaches and umpires all week. It's been a pretty good umpired series. He displeased Florence coaching staff on that call. That is Chad Rhodes. He put up his hair. That's why I didn't think it was him. The Y'Alls field manager. Typically has his hair down to his shoulders, but has a little man bun today. Was deceiving me. 1-0 to Fuentes. At the knees, a strike, 1-1. There's 2 outs now. The bases have been cleared. No score between the Y'Alls and the Otters. There was a run scored in the first inning by each squad the first 2 days, but nothing here as we're into the third. 1-1. Breaking ball inside. 2 balls to 1 strike. These are the nights that are fun to play on as players. Not all 96 are going to be fun, but on a beautiful evening in front of thousands of fans. Great energy at the ballpark. Series on the line. It's a blast. 2-1. Inside corner, a strike on the breaking ball. 2-2. Fuentes will call time to reset. 4 strikeouts already for Zach Smith. Sets at the chest, rocks back and forth, throws outside. Fastball just missed, and a full count to Brian Fuentes, the ready batter. Otters, Y'Alls, no score, 1 hit apiece. Payoff home. High chopper up the middle. Bosse over to his right, plays it on a hop at the chest, throws to first to beat Fuentes by a step. And Smith faces the minimum in the third inning. Scoreless as we go to the bottom of the third on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
The Otters are back tomorrow for Eagles for Everyone night. Admission to Friday's game, free for general admission seating. So the earlier you show up tomorrow, the better GA seat you can have. And Eagles for Everyone night. Saturday we'll have Star Wars night, and Sunday at Dog Days of Summer, $2 hot dogs, and you can bring your dogs. Tickets outside of tomorrow's free general admission seating game are available at EvansvilleOtters.com and by calling 812-435-8686. Deep Blue Indoor Play has a meal deal. It's currently offered every day during the summer. 2 admissions, 2 drinks, and 1 large pizza for only $40. This great deal is offered by Deep Blue Indoor Play, Evansville's premier.
Beautiful evening for baseball from Bosse Field in Evansville, Indiana. Otters and Y'Alls. No score so far. A series decider on a Thursday night. Good pitching matchup between 2 talented pitchers. And Carter Spivey, his 3rd professional start out of college baseball powerhouse East Carolina. And Zach Smith, who was one of the best pitchers in the Frontier League in the first couple months of the season. Off to an excellent start to his evening. Top of the order will lead off in the 3rd for Evansville and Noah Myers. Myers flew out to left his first time up. Spivey throws. Strike on the outside corner to Myers. What a day yesterday for Noah. A 3-hit day. 3 for 4. A run. Drove in a run as well. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Led off the game with the triple in the first. And scored. And then an RBI base hit in the 3rd. And he was part of the Otters' only 2 runs yesterday. Batting 1 in and scoring the other. 1-1. Misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Myers, an all-star, but he's been extra special here at Bosse Field, hitting .350 this year at Bosse. Throw home. Misses outside. 3-1 to Myers. Hitting .350 at Bosse, and 7 of his 10 home runs have come here at home. On the road, hitting just .265. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Spivey works it full. Myers is one of only 3 players in the Frontier League right now that has at least 10 home runs and at least 20 stolen bases. Payoff home, popped up into center field, coming in Zuber to make the catch. 1 away. One out in the bottom of the 3rd. It brings up Brian Rosario, the left fielder. It's interesting how different this series has been between Evansville and Florence. In the first series, that was a lot of high-scoring blowouts. It's been low-scoring, intense pitchers duels. The second series of 4 between these 2 this year, as Brian Rosario swings and misses at the first pitch. The Y'Alls and Otters will get quite familiar with each other in August. They'll play again in just 2 short weeks in Florence, and then the very next week back here at Bosse Field for the final series between the 2 of the year and the penultimate week of the season. Rosario takes outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Spivey winds and throws high, 2-1.
Once again, we're still looking for a winner for that Eyewitness News prize package, 230-8346, 230-8346.
2-1. On the inside corner, a strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rosario. All the field in the shade now, the sun bouncing off the Crawford Doors building out on the other side of Heidelbach Avenue, across from Bosse. 2-2, sliced in and fouled away down the left field line and over the picnic tent off the Bud Light beer truck. Really great job by everyone here at Bosse Field today. When got in this morning, the big storm overnight had certainly taken its toll on the field. 2-2. Lined right side, over to the right, the second baseman Burks bobbles it, picks it back up, throw to first, just beats Rosario by a foot. Well, Burks on the glove-to-hand transfer bobbled it, and Rosario, his excellent speed, nearly had an infield base hit to the right side. 2 quick outs for Spivey in the second. He's certainly looking settled in now as Jeffrey Baez comes to the plate. Otters staff does an excellent job every day of the year, but today was especially challenging with all the wetness of damage from the night before, and they made the ballpark look as good as new. Jeffrey Baez pops up the first pitch in the shallow right. Out is Burks, and the second baseman makes the running grab. The Otters go down in order quickly in the third. We've got a pitcher's duel tonight. Spivey and Smith both dealing. Scoreless after 3 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Our Otters Digital Network staff has notified me of issues with the center field camera. Please make sure you are not on that wooden platform in center field. If you have a party on the Corona Extra Party deck, make sure everyone in that party is accounted for, so we have no one on that platform for the Otters Digital Network camera and interfering with our broadcast. We do thank you for your continued cooperation. Now, Crazy Train.
Three innings complete from Bosse Field. No score between the Y'alls and the Otters. Griffin Epstein here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday evening wherever you're tuned in across the world. Ray Zuber will lead things off for Florence here in the top of the 4th. Train rumbling by on the tracks outside of Bosse. A big crowd on hand. Smith on the bump, righty comes home. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Boy, does the changeup look pretty tonight for Zach Smith. 4 strikeouts for Smith. He's allowed just 1 hit and 2 walks. 0-1. Low, 1 ball and 1 strike to Zuber. One home. Swing and a miss. Zuber swinging out of his shoes. 1-2. Florence trying to win just their 2nd road series since June 8th. Beat New Jersey in a road series, 2 out of 3 a few weeks back. But outside of that, have not won a road series since early June. They're just 3-7 in road series this season. A win tonight would earn them a big series victory to try to build some momentum for them into the last month of the year. 1-2. Outside corner, just missed. 2-2. Further that point, the Y'alls have not won games in back-to-back days since June 21st. It's been over a month. Back-to-back days with a win. 2-2. Outside and a full count to Zuber. Y'alls had back-to-back games with victories, July 16th and 18th, but an off day in the middle on Monday. So back-to-back days with the win. You have to go all the way back to June. That's how much the Y'alls struggled in July when they went just 5-18. Payoff to Zuber. Slice foul down the left field line.
Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Full count to Zuber, the leadoff batter here in the top of the fourth. Throw home. Chopped right side, back over the first base bag and past Phillips down the right field line. Braun will field it, bobbles it, throw into second. Zuber sides it safely. A high hopper and Phillips couldn't get his body in front of it. A double to Zuber to lead off the fourth.
Catcher 9, Zane Richardson.
So I'll bring up Zane Richardson with the Y'alls a runner in scoring position for the first time since the first inning. Florence's first extra base hit off Zach Smith. Smith home. Breaking ball on the inner third is strike 0-1. One of the more impressive parts of Zach Smith's game, especially when he was hot in the first half of the season, was his composure on the mound. Not rattled at all, with some tough situations behind him, runners on base. 0-1. Chopped, left side, right to the shortstop. Skinner to glove it, throw to first, easily beats Richardson. 1 out. Evansville Otter fans, 2023 brings new opportunities to catch all the latest Frontier League action. Be sure and check out the Frontier League and your Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. Just visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe today for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. One out, and it brings up the lefty Harrison DeNicola with Zuber at second. No score in the top of the fourth. Smith home, outside. Oh, it pops off the glove of Felix and all the way back to the backstop, and down to third goes Zuber. That's quite a hop off the glove of Felix, and I think right off the top of his glove, and really pinballed way up into the backstop and almost went into the Y'alls dugout. Felix is out to have a quick word with Smith. Make sure they're on the right page. So Zuber 90 feet away to third with 1 out and a 1-0 count to DeNicola. Low, bounces away from Felix down the third base line. Is going to keep Zuber put at third. Smith worked out of a jam in the first, had 2 in scoring position, and was able to escape the inning unscathed. (2-0). Lined up the middle, skids off the mound, Skinner to glove it, throw to first, beats DeNicola, but Zuber will score and the Y'alls strike first, a 1-0 lead in the top of the fourth. DeNicola does his job, gets the bat on the ball, and Skinner's only play to first base. So Florence takes a 1-0 lead, and it brings up Hank Zeisler. Caveat to that is the team that scored first the last 2 nights ended up losing. Bases cleared with 2 outs for the lefty Zeisler. Smith throws, strike at the knees. Otters are 24-12 at home this year and 8-3 in series. 0-1, low. 1 ball and 1 strike after the Otters played a heavy July schedule on the road. 14 of 23 on the road, just 9 home games. They will equal that same number of home games in July in the first 2 weeks. 9 of the first 12 games here in August are at home. in the midst of a 6-game homestand, on the road for 3 at Windy City next week, and then 3 at home against Washington. 1-1, check swing by Zeisler, and he couldn't hold up. Pitch in on the hands. Zeisler got a little twisted about. One and two. Low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Base is empty in the top of the 4th. Florence, a leadoff double by Zuber, comes around to score. He's taking a 1-0 lead. Two and two. Chopped left side to the left of the third base bag. And luckily for the Otters is Reyes could only bat down the ball. The last moment, the ball kicked to the left down the line. Two and two. Chopped right side, and Zeisler stays alive as it rolls deep into this expansive foul territory here at Bosse Field. Smith trying to finish the 4th inning. He's at 64 pitches here in the top of the 4th. It's already the longest outing so far this week by an Otters starter. Much needed. Every Otters reliever has already pitched in the first 2 games. 2 and two. Fouled away again by Zeisler. He is a pesky player, Hank Zeisler. Started his career at the D3 level and played at UNLV, and then finished his career in the SEC at Missouri. Played his first 3 years at Chapman, which is one of the best D3 programs in the country. Won a national championship there. 2 and two. Inside and a full count to Zeisler. Proved his worth a lot, as many D3 players do in summer ball. Hit .337 in the summer with the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters, one of the powerhouses in the Northwoods League. Payoff to Zeisler, outside for ball 4. And the pesky lefty works a walk to continue his excellent start to his pro career.
Shortstop 6, Ed Johnson.
Keeps the inning going in the 4th. Another SEC player and Johnson coming to the plate, and Max Peterson, the Otters pitching coach, walking to the mound to have a quick chat with Smith. Busy day, busy week, I should say, for Max Peterson. With, as we mentioned earlier, Otters starting pitching not going long, with Braden Scott during some blisters on Tuesday and not able to continue, and Austin Gossman only working 3 2/3 yesterday. Otters bullpen using 5 pitchers out of the pen yesterday, and then 4 yesterday. All 7 arms being used over the last 2 days, and a couple guys used twice. This is really the first time all season that the Otters bullpen, it feels like, is a little bit tired and maybe strung a little thin. Starting pitching rotation that's been the most consistent in the Frontier League. Seems to guarantee typically 5 or 6 innings. Not the case this week. Smith ready again on the rubber and misses outside on the first pitch to Johnson. 3 walks now on the day for Smith. His pitch count is growing it now over 73. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. John Beamer's just getting some arm stretches in the Otters bullpen, but otherwise everyone still just sitting down. Zeisler at first with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. 2-0. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes to Johnson. A little bit of frustration showing on the face of Smith as he shrugs the shoulders and Goes back to the Rosenbach. Zeisler takes off the 3-0. He's in for a strike, and Felix kind of bumped into Johnson as he came up to make his throws. Zeisler got such a good such a good jump anyways. I think Felix also realized he wasn't going to catch him. Zeisler with great speed to second now with 2 outs in scoring position. 3-1 count to Johnson. Throw home. Popped up by Johnson into shallow left. Out is Skinder. In is Myers. The left fielder will make the jogging catch to retire this out. They all score first. They get 1 in the 4th. Zuber leads off with a double and comes around to score. 1-0 Florence. We move to the bottom of the 4th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
It's time to show us your best smiles for the Paramount Dental Smile Cam. Over 300,000 members trust Paramount Dental because it's based right here in the Hoosier state of Indiana. Paramount Dental has been ensuring smiles for more than 37 years. Keep smiling at Paramount Dental. Be sure to check out Frontier League and the Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. Visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. It's time to announce the winner of our next door prize, a free t-shirt of your choice up to a $30 value at the Otters Gym Team Store with my good friend Ron Trail. That winning ticket number is 2308334. 2308334. You're going to take home a brand new shirt of your choice up to a $30 value at the Otters Gym Team Store. Congratulations. Again, that ticket number 2308334. And for those of the concourse, we'll do it one more time. 2308334. Good luck. Head to the Habitat table if that is your winning ticket number. First baseman, number 7, Dakota.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports on a Thursday evening from Bosse Field. Florence 1, Evansville 0 with the series on the line. Here from the River City, Dakota Phillips lays off the bottom of the 4th inning. Carter Spivey fires home, and Phillips pops up the first pitch down the left field line. Fuentes and Hoover converging. It's the left fielder Hoover to make the catch on the edge of the warning track. 1 pitch, 1 out for Spivey in the bottom of the 4th. Spivey has retired 5 in a row after 2 rocky starts to start his pro career. Carter Spivey really settling in here in his 3rd outing. Omar Reyes digs in, righty taking all the way, a strike right down the middle. Spivey only went 4 innings in his first start and allowed 3 runs on 5 hits against Ottawa on the road. 0-1 to Reyes. Low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Against the tough Schaumburg team on Friday in his last start. Went 6 innings, but allowed 7 hits on 5 runs. No decision in both, but the Y'alls would lose both games. It's a tough transition, though, especially after a long spring season, especially for a school like East Carolina. The 1-1 grounded right side, right to the second baseman. Burks collects, throws to first, 2 outs. 2 quick outs for Spivey in the 4th. He's in a groove now. He's retired 6 in a row. Ethan Skinder will come to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. ECU's been one of the great programs in college baseball the last few years. Pitch home to Skinder, and for a strikeout, the letters. Pirates last year were a game away from making it to Omaha. They lost in a winner-take-all game to Texas. 0-1. Fouled away by Skinder, 0-2. And then this year, the Pirates ended up losing to Virginia, who would go on to make the College World Series. And the regional, first regional, last year, 2 years ago, hosted the Super Regional against Texas, ended up losing it. First time they'd ever done that in program history. A great program built in beautiful Greenville, North Carolina. 0-2. Popped up by Skinder into right field, taking Zeisler a few steps back. Now over to the track, makes the catch. And the sides retired in order. Carter Spivey dealing tonight for Florence. 7 in a row retired. We're through 4. 1-0 Florence on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, here you go, your Southwest Graphics Evansville Honor Bells.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Old National Bank. Your success is everything. The Otters hoping for some success on a Thursday night against Florence, but they are being shut down by the big righty Carter Spivey. 4 shutout innings for the former East Carolina Pirate. And the Otters trail the Y'alls 1-0 as we start the top of the 5th inning. Crowd of 3,122 on a Thursday night. Jeremiah Burks, the second baseman, will lead things off for Florence. Righty batter to face Zach Smith, who's been excellent as well tonight. Comes home, pitch misses inside, 1-0 to Burks. Just 2 hits allowed by Smith. He has walked 3 batters, but a leadoff double to Zuber in the 4th, advanced to 3rd on a wild pitch, and then scored on a ground out. The 1 run for Florence. Some clouds have rolled in. The sun is gone. The 1-0 lined up the middle. Smith ducking out of the way and into center field. The ball, a leadoff base hit for Burks. Hard hit ball by the second baseman, his first hit of the series. Leadoff batter aboard for a second straight inning for Florence. Lane Hoover, the left fielder, comes to the plate. Sun is mostly set, but the clouds have rolled in anyways. And sky's starting to darken. Lights just starting to come into effect as we near 8 o'clock local time. Lane Hoover, lefty left fielder, digging in. Hoover shows bunt and lays one down, back to the mound. Smith picks it up, throws to first to easily beat Hoover. 1 out, but Hoover completes the mission and advances Burks to second.
Back to the top of the order, designated hitter 70.
Back to the top of the order in Brennan Price. A number 9 batter, you're often going to be asked to lay down a bunt. Hoover also East Carolina Pirate like Spivey. Good bunt to advance Burks to second when a game feels like it's going to be another low-scoring affair like last night. Every run is big. Brennan Price is 0 for 2 today, 2 strikeouts. Leadoff batter takes the first pitch low for a ball. Otters winning the series opener. Evansville, before last weekend, had won every series when they'd won the series opener. 1-0. Chopped up the middle, back to Smith, bounces off his glove, picks it back up, underhand toss to first, beats Price. Oh, that got interesting for Zach Smith. Looked like a routine chopper back to the mound, but a little bit of a slick ball tonight on some wet grass with all the rain, and fell back out of his glove. Luckily, typically think a leadoff batter is fast. Priced at 6'9", 320 is not a fast leadoff batter, and Smith had enough time to recollect and get the out. Burks goes to third. 2 outs, and Brian Fuentes digs into the right-handed batter's box. Smith home. Breaking ball on the inner third, a strike. So the Otters had not lost the series all year when they won the series opener until last weekend in New York. Otters won the series opener against the Boulders, but then lost the last 2 games to drop the series. Trying to avoid that feat for a second straight series. 0-1 outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Looking for 2 winners. Those ticket numbers are now on the Heritage Video Board. We have these ticket numbers. Go to the habitat table.
One and 1 home. Low, 2 balls and 1 strike to Fuentes. To further that point, here at home, that's been a trend as well, splitting the first 2 games, and then whoever won the series opener, typically the Otters winning the series. Otters 5-2 in series rubber matches at home. Those 5 wins, all when the Otters won the series opener. The 2 losses when the Otters lost the middle game. 2-1 inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Otters have only lost back-to-back games at home once all season. That was back in early June to Schaumburg, and they lost the first 2 games to the Boomers, and then salvaged a win in the series finale on Sunday. 3-1 home. Outside for ball 4. A walk to Fuentes. Smith looks up into the sky in frustration. It's his 5th walk of the evening, and the walkathon by Otters pitchers continues into Thursday. Evansville has now walked or hit a combined, walked and hit a combined 31 batters in this series. And we've still got 5 innings left to play. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Ray Zuber, lefty batter, digs in. Smith home. Low, 1-0. Changeup's been excellent for Smith tonight, but at times he's both struggled to locate it, and the Y'alls have been reading it better and just taking a lot of the changeups for balls and waiting for fastballs to hit. And if they don't come, working walks. 1-0. Low again, 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0. On the inside corner, a strike. Back on the changeup, 2-1. It's 4 walks on the day for Smith, which is tied for the 2nd most in any game this year. Command's been an issue. A few starts for Smith, who's walked 5 batters in 2 different starts. 2nd-year Otter. Played his college ball at a few different schools. It's the 2-1, swing and a miss. 2-2 to Zuber. Smith finished his career at D2 Southern Arkansas. Played 1 year at Central Arkansas, D1. Started his career at Blinn Junior College in Texas, not too far from his hometown of Katy, Texas. Two and 2. Breaking ball outside corner, strike 3 call. Pretty changeup from Smith. Escapes his own mess. Unscathed in the 5th. Move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Otters lead 1-0 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Halfway home on a Thursday night from Bosse Field, bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0. Florence leads Evansville. Good pitcher's duel tonight. Carter Spivey dealing for Florence. Zach Smith has had some command issues, but has been excellent otherwise for the Otters this evening. Josh Braun will lead off for the Otters. Bottom 3 in the lineup coming to the plate for Evansville. Spivey has retired the last 7 in order, and second time through the lineup yet to allow a base run. Braun struck out his first time up to the plate. Spivey delivers. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. Spivey got in some trouble in the first inning, and a Florence fan might be thinking, here we go again, another rough start, more bad pitching. 1-0. Grounded left side, shortstop charging in Johnson to field it, throw to first, scooped off the ground and can't be fielded by DeNicola. Long throw from the shortstop Johnson, and DeNicola couldn't pick it off the dirt. Braun has an infield single to lead off the bottom of the 5th. Braun's 8th hit of the season and his 12th game for the Otters since being traded from Tri-City. That brings up Justin Felix with 1 on and nobody out. First base runner Spivey's allowed since Felix worked a walk back in the 2nd inning. Spivey steps off, pickoff throw back to first, brought in safely. It's been a huge emphasis for Florence all week. It's been a lot of pickoff throws to Otters runners. I think at times it's become a little bit too much though. It's become a distraction for Florence pitchers. Pitch home to Felix, popped up foul. Spivey, though, he allowed a walk and a base hit, runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out in the 1st, and was able to get a strikeout of Phillips and Reyes to ground out to escape the side. And since then, has not really ran into any trouble. 62 pitches here in the bottom of the 5th. Another step off, throw back to first, and Braun back to the bag, and Spivey's already used his 2 disengagements. Braun can take a huge lead at first now. Braun takes off. Spivey didn't start his wind. Throws back to 2nd. Braun's out. Well, that's the risk. He can't leave before he winds, or Braun can step off. And Braun just left a little bit too early, and Spivey, a great turnaround to catch Braun, 1 out. Feels like a big play in this ball game in a low-scoring game. Oh, 1 to Felix. On the outside corner, a strike, 0-2. Spivey can't make a pickoff throw, so he can take a huge lead, but if you start going, then Spivey can step off. 0-2, outside 1-2. So it's kind of a timing matter, but Braun just got a little bit too eager. Rosario was able to take advantage of Spivey using his 2 disengagements back in the 1st inning, steal a base. 1-2, breaking ball misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 5th, Florence 1, Evansville 0 here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Two to Felix. Popped up right side. Zeisler running at the line, at the warning track, reaches up the glove and makes the catch in the Otters bullpen. Off the bat, that looked like it hooked way foul, but Zeisler read it well. 2 away in the 5th.
Second baseman, number 2, Austin Bosse.
Brings up Austin Bosse, the second baseman, with 2 outs and the base is empty. Otters bats have gone quiet all series. Just 6 hits apiece in the first 2 games and just 2 hits so far tonight. First pitch home to Bosse, misses high for a ball, 1-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand by for 2 vehicles that need to be moved due to parking restrictions and violations.
1-0. On the outside corner is strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
License plate 727 PLA. You need to move your car.
1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Bosse struck out his first time up in the second. His second pro start. Less than 2 weeks before the transaction deadline in the Frontier League. 2-1. Fouled straight back 2-2. So every team trying to make their last minute moves and bring in players for the stretch run in the playoffs. Part of the reason transaction deadline put in place, so playoff contending teams can't start poaching players from non-contending teams. So a lot of big decisions will be made in the next 2 weeks. 2-2 sails high and a full count to Bosse. We've seen a lot of changes by both the Otters and plenty of other teams across the league since the All-Star break. Already seeing some decisions work out for some teams and others backfire. Payoff home. Popped up right side in foul territory. First baseman DeNicola at the warning track. Ball will bounce off the roof. Rolled right back into the glove of DeNicola, but can't play it off the roof for an out. Unfortunately for DeNicola. That would add an interesting incentive to the game, though, if the roof was in fair territory, as an added pinball machine almost to the game. Payoff home, popped up into right. Zeisler a few steps in, reaches up the glove and makes the snag. Spivey faces the minimum in the 5th. He's dealing 5 shutout, 1-0 Florence after 5 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Deep Blue Indoor Play is now offering memberships. You can party, play, and climb for one low monthly price. And there are discounts for additional members. So check out their website or follow them on Facebook. Deep Blue Indoor Play. On John L. Smith's favorite spots to go. Nearby. 23 miles away.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Working Distributors Evansville. Crowd of over 3,000 tonight from Bosse Field, taking in a good pitcher's duel between Zach Smith and Carter Spivey. Lights are on here at Bosse, pretty much into full effect. So we're almost to the weekend. You've almost made it. See it, Richardson leading off for Florence in the top of the 6th inning. Smith looking to complete a quality start. He's limited Florence to just 3 hits. He's walked 4 batters, has put himself in some trouble, but has limited the damage, and the Otters have needed it as Evansville's bats have been completely silenced by Carter Spivey. Smith home, outside 1-0 to Richardson. Typically the big bats bring the fans to the ballpark, but I think often a pitcher's duel keeps the fans engaged. 1-0, outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The baseball nerds might come to the ballpark because of great pitching, but the casual fan won't. But the performances we've seen tonight by Spivey and Smith, I think it's keeping most fans riveted to the action. 2-0. Check swing by Richardson. Did he go around? No. Held up. 2-1. Smith delivers right down the middle. 2-2 to Richardson. Pitch home. Fouled straight back, and Richardson stays alive.
Brought to you by Hex Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Smith at the chest, delivers. Inside, did it hit Richardson? Yes, it did. Nicked him on the elbow, and Smith hits his first batter. And the leadoff runner aboard again for Florence. That's the third straight inning with the leadoff batter reaching. Now they're going to say it wasn't hit, just a walk, so must have just missed him. But a walk instead to Richardson. It's the fifth of the day for Smith. 1 on with nobody out for the lefty DeNicola. Smith delivers. DeNicola fouls it off the end of the bat. And that is Smith's 100th pitch of the evening. This Otters tired bullpen. There's still nobody moving in Evansville's pen. They really could use Smith to complete 6 tonight. Throw outside 1-1. It's the 6th time this season Smith has thrown over 100 pitches, so he's not unusual, not unusual for him to throw over 100. Had a flying, colorful ball thrown in my face. DeNicola swings and misses 1-2. I don't know what it was. There was a bunch of rainbow colors flashing in front of my face, thrown across the stands. The Blue Beach Bash night. There's a lot of fun activities, and lays were given out to the fans. Beach balls, cut out octopus. There's a sea creature race coming up in a couple innings. 1-2. Chopped foul. DeNicola stays alive. We had an outstanding drumline performance by the Boom Squad before the game. We've actually got some video for you, so we'll pull that up in an upcoming inning. A good drum line is always a treat. But the Boom Squad went above and beyond. My jaw was dropped. Even the Otters players stopped warming up to watch the Boom Squad. Smith will step off and reset. 1-2 count to DeNicola with 1 on and nobody out. It's a really good night of baseball here at Bosse Field with a lot of promotions and a lot of great fans in the stands. 1-2. Chopped foul again. DeNicola stays alive. Lights are on and in complete effect now. Nighttime has descended on the Pocket City. Another 1-2. High, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a Blue Beach Bash tonight here at Bosse, and then tomorrow night is sure to be quite fun. It's E is for Everyone night at the ballpark, celebrating the city of Evansville. And GA tickets are free of charge, no ticket required for GA seating. So you don't even have to worry about a ticket to get in tomorrow's game. You can just walk up right into the gates, and we'll let you in. 2-2, just missed outside to full counts. And the Otters bullpen is going to start getting busy. Smith is really slowing down his pace here on the top of the 6th. Full count to DeNicola with 1 on and nobody out. Throw home. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Strike 3 called.
Kelsey Jones.
Want to make your lawn and landscape look like a field of dreams? Make sure you use 10 Bars professional brand products. Pick them up at any of our 3 locations, beautifying the communities we live in and the grass we walk and play on, all since 1940. Much needed strikeout for Smith, back to his trusty changeup for his 5th strikeout of the ball game. 1 away. Richardson at first. It brings up Hank Zeisler, the lefty right fielder. John Beamer warming in the Otters pen already. Zeisler chops it foul down the first base line. Just 3 hits for Florence, but 5 walks offered by Smith. 0-1. Breaking ball outside. 1-1. And Spivey, I mean, right now, who knows how long he could go. It's his first pro start, and started 10 games at ECU, but still 14 out of the bullpen. But his command has been excellent. His pitch count's much lower than Smith, largely because he's had much better command. 1-1. Chopped right side. Fielded by Bosse. He throws to second. Back to first. Not in time. Zeisler just beats it out down the line. The Otters take the force out at second. And Zeisler trades places with Richardson. The Otters take the second out of the inning. Brings up Ed Johnson with Zeisler at first, 2 outs, and Smith an out away from likely his day ending and completing a really impressive quality start. Throws home. Johnson grounds one up the middle. Bosse backhands it. He'll toss to first to beat Johnson and retire the side. That'll likely end the day for Zach Smith. He'll exit with the Y'alls lead, but what an outing tonight by Zach Smith. 6 excellent innings, just 3 hits allowed, and 1 run, and he earns his 8th quality start of the season. Move to the bottom of the 6th, 1-0. Y'alls lead the Otters on the Otters Digital Network on Flow Sports.
The order team for the Evansville Otters. Amber jumps in on that, center fielder, number 9, Noah Myers.
Noah Myers leads off the bottom of the 6th inning for Evansville and takes the first pitch strike from Carter Spivey. 1-0 lead for Florence over Evansville under the lights on a Thursday night. Lefty batter Myers, his 3rd at bat of the day. 0-1. Misses. Low. 1-1 to Myers. Spivey at 76 pitches here in the 6th inning, working on a shutout. Threw 99 pitches in his last outing, 6 innings against Schaumburg. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Myers, after 3 hits yesterday, 0 for 2 today with 2 flyouts to the outfield. Someone needs to jumpstart the Otters offense. They've had a very quiet week. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Myers. Otters were held to just 6 hits apiece in the first 2 games of this series. 2-2. Lined into center field, coming in Zuber to make the jogging catch. 1 out. Myers hit it hard, but right at the center fielder. 1 away in the 6th. His back-to-back games with just 6 hits for the Otters was a low dating all the way back to July 4th when the Otters were held to 6 hits or less in back-to-back games at Lake Erie. Otters have had a pretty good month offensively since, but not a good start to August with the bats. 1 out, nobody on for Rosario, shows bunt and pulls it back for a strike. Rosario worked a walk in the first, grounded out in the 3rd. John Beamer continuing to throw in the Evansville bullpen. Looks like he'll come in the 7th. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Spivey has gotten better and better, and the Otters have just 1 base runner against them since the 2nd inning. Rosario will call time and reset the batting gloves. Oh, 2. Low, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rosario. What a outing tonight for Spivey. His 3rd professional outing, just signed by the Y'alls, and this is a welcome sign for a beleaguered rotation. 1-2, sails high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Spivey was a preseason All-American in the spring for East Carolina, the American Association Pitcher of the Year in 2022 as a reliever. Worked as a weekend starter at times for ECU this past season. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball falling out of the zone. 2 outs for Spivey in the 6th. 4th strikeout of the evening. 2 outs, nobody on for Jeffrey Baez. Baez 1 for 2 with a base hit back in the 1st. Spivey sidesteps and throws. Baez checks his swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. 0-1. Spivey's from a very athletic family. His aunt, Hope Spivey, was actually a member of the 1988 USA Olympics gymnastics team. 0-1. Fouled straight back, 0-2. '88 Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. How about having your aunt be a Olympic gymnast? Pitching is certainly one of the more flexible positions on the baseball field. 0-2. Lined into center, charging in, diving, Zuber makes the catch. Ray Zuber with his 2nd diving catch of the week robs Baez of a base hit. The 3rd in order inning for Carter Spivey. We've completed 6. 1-0 Florence on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
A white Ford Fusion, license plate 727 PLA. Move your car. A white Toyota 4Runner, license plate 902 BJF. Move your car. White Ford Fusion 727 PLA and a white Toyota 4Runner 902 BJF. Move your car. Now, Otter fans, make some noise. Who wants a t-shirt? Alexis throwing out t-shirts to the loudest fans. Make some noise. Let me hear ya.
Back at Bosse Field for the top of the 7th inning. The Otters making a call to the bullpen, trying to keep Florence's lead at 1, just a 1-0 Y'alls lead. John Beamer into the ball game for Evansville, making his 30th appearance of the season. No one has pitched more this season for the Otters. 2.72 ERA for Beamer and 39 1/3 innings pitched. As a lot of fans want a t-shirt here at Bosse Field. Has allowed just 12 earned runs on the season, 47 strikeouts to 15 walks, and 39 2/3 innings pitched for the Hopkinsville, Kentucky native. Fastball, slider, sinker for the righty Beamer. Pitched against the Y'alls on Tuesday night, inning in 2/3. Did allow 2 hits and a walk, but did not allow a run on 33 pitches. Righty-righties comes home. A first pitch sails high to Jeremiah Burks, the righty batter. Burks 1 for 2 today, a base hit back in the 5th. 1-0, breaking ball on the inner third, a strike 1-1. Beamer's busy last couple weeks continues. He's pitched now in 6 out of the last 8 games for the Otters. It's been an Evansville workhorse. 1-1. Breaking ball at the letters for a strike, 1-2. Beamer swipes away at the dirt, sets at the chest, kicks and throws. Check swing on a ball low. Burks held up. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Nasty slider. 1 away. Hey, Otter fans, for landscape design that is truly unique, look to locally owned Wild Horticulture. Whether you need a team to design and construct a large-scale landscape project for your business, or looking to create an epic backyard retreat complete with plants, water, and light installation, the experienced team at Wild can take your ideas to the next level. You've likely seen their creative work all over town. Lane Hoover, lefty batter, stands in with 1 out and nobody on. Takes the first pitch outside. Wild Horticulture has the skills and resources to deliver inspiring spaces and bring your ideas to life. If you have a project in mind, find them on Instagram and at wildspaces.com. 1-0 to Hoover. High, 2 balls and no strikes. Zach Smith, a quality outing tonight. He goes 6 innings, allows just 1 run on 3 hits. 2-0. On the inside corner, a strike 2-1. But if the Otters don't score, he would go down for the tough luck loss. It's not something that's unusual to Smith. 3 of his 4 losses this year, the Otters have not scored a run in. Hopes that's not the case tonight. The 2-1 outside, 3 balls and 1 strike to Hoover. Home. Lined into left field over Rosario. Will play it on a hop. Bobbles for a second and now relays it in. Hoover. A base hit with 1 out in the 7th. Second hit of the series for the left fielder. Pirates just continue to have a tenacious offense. They've only gone down in order once today. Hoover at first, back to the top of the order, and Brennan Price. 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Beamer nods. Big lead at first for Hoover. He's dancing over there. Hold though as the pitch comes in outside, 1-0. One thing the Otters have done really well this week is limit Price. Just 1 hit for the big 6'9" all-star slugger after going berserk last week. 5 home runs and 13 batted in. Beamer will step off. Price just 1 for 12 now on the week. The Y'alls overall offensively haven't done a lot of damage, but Evansville's offense has been quiet in their own rights. 1-0, swing and a miss. Another big hack by Price. Way out in front. Florence trying to win just their second road series since June 8th. Go back-to-back days with the win for the first time since June. Win 2 games to start the month of August after just winning 5 in all of July. 1-1, Hoover takes off, pitch inside, bounces through the legs of Felix and back to the backstop. That was the perfect pitch for Hoover to take off on. He won't get credit, though, for a stolen base, but he's in scoring position. 2-1 count to Price with 1 out. One run, 4 hits, and 1 error for Florence. No runs on 2 hits and no errors for Evansville. Beamer on the right side of the rubber blue stockings as he steps off and a reset on the mound. White pants cutting just below the knees. Beamer's gone back and forth between socks and stockings. He was wearing socks on Tuesday and now stockings here on Thursday. 2-1 inside. Price held up on a breaking ball, 3-1. He's wearing stockings on the last road trip, but he was wearing socks for most of the first half of the season. It's the only Otter pitcher I know that's mixed it up. James Crick always wears stockings, while most of the other Otter pitchers go with the normal socks. 3-1. Popped up high in the air by Price into right. Braun over towards his left under the ball, makes the catch. Hoover starts to second, and a bullet by Braun to third. Hoover stays at second base. What a throw by Josh Braun in right. Hoover's certainly glad he didn't tag. Josh Braun's athleticism, I mean, it's just unbelievable. He had made an insane catch yesterday, overshadowed because it was the end of the top of the 10th after Florence had taken a 3-run lead, but he made an over-the-shoulder running towards the wall catch. That was just ridiculous. Saved a couple runs from the Otters, but Florence already had scored 3 in the inning. 2 away. Hoover still at second. Brian Fuentes digs in. 0 for 1 today with 2 walks. Beamer peeks back at second and throws. Swing and a miss. Otters still just 2 hits today, no runs. Evansville has not scored now since the 3rd inning yesterday. Oh, and 1. On the inside corner, a strike, 0-2 to Fuentes. "13 straight innings now that the Otters don't have a run, which who would have thought against the worst pitching staff statistically in the Frontier League West. 0-2. Outside corner, strike 3 called. What a slider from Beamer painting the corner. 2 strikeouts for Beamer. He works around a base hit in the 7th. Time to stretch it, Bosse. 1-0. Y'alls over the Otters on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Thanks for the help from 500 Evansville Choir here at Bosse Field. Thanks for joining us. So let's get some more runs.
Back in 5. Back at Bosse Field, bottom of the 7th inning, but what a sight we had today. Before the game, the boom bash, drum line. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Playing the drum upside down, being carried by a bigger drummer. I was absolutely in shock, being turned around, upside down in the air and playing the drum. They did an excellent job even before the little guy was turned upside down to play the drum. The Otters enjoyed watching it, got a big applause after the game, and awesome job by the Boom Squad, they're called, here in Evansville, a youth drum line, and they put on quite a show before the game. They might have elicited a louder cheer than the Otters have gotten so far today, as Evansville trails 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Dakota Phillips leads off for the Otters. Carter Spivey still working. A first pitch sails high for a ball. It's the 88th pitch of the evening for Spivey. Y'all's bullpen is not used to seeing a start like this. 1-0. Anthony is a strike. 1-1 to Phillips. They're standing up now, but no one is throwing or anything. They're just enjoying this from the East Carolina Pirate and Virginia native. He's been special tonight. 1-1 to Phillips. Swung on and softly grounded up the middle. Coming in, the shortstop Johnson to field. Throw to first in time to beat Phillips by 2 steps. The Otters have just 1 base runner since the 2nd inning, just 2 base runners since the 1st. Spivey has faced the minimum every inning since the 2nd. The only runner since the 2nd inning based it for Braun, and he was thrown out trying to steal seconds. Omar Reyes comes to the plate, 0 for 2 today. Spivey throws. Reyes takes outside. No, called a strike, going 1. A big thing, I mentioned it earlier, but to point out the Otters' offensive struggles this week is they haven't gotten any power. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Otters had an electric start at the plate offensively coming out of the All-Star break, in large part because of the power they saw. Otters hit 20 home runs after the All-Star break. Only had 2 games in the second half of July after the All-Star break without a home run. But they've been without a home run all series. 0-2 to Reyes. Popped up high in the air in foul territory. First baseman DeNickel under the baseball makes the catch. 2 outs. The Otters just aren't even hitting the baseball very hard right now. This is Spivey at his finest. 2 outs, nobody on, and Ethan Skinner stands to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. He's flown out to right both times. Nothing else. The Otters just see if they can work a couple long at bats and maybe chase Spivey from this game and face Y'Alls bullpen that's been pretty busy the first 2 days and struggled all season. Skinner fouls the first pitch straight back. Spivey is allowed just 2 hits and 2 walks. Struck out 4, and flyouts have been the main name of the game for him. Otters have flown out to the outfield a lot today. 0-1 to Skinner. Breaking ball inside 1-1. 9 flyouts induced by Spivey. 1-1, swing and a miss. Spivey a strike away from another in-order inning. One and two. Chopped right side. Burks over the second baseman on the edge of the grass. Throws to first to beat Skinner. Carter Spivey, special tonight for Florence. He's retired 8 in a row and worked 7 shutouts. Go to the 8th. 1-0 Y'Alls on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
gentlemen, here's tonight's winning jackpot prize for $739. Go to the Habitat table if this is your winning ticket number. 6, 7, 1, 4, 5, 6, 6. 6, 7, 1, 4, 5, 6, 6, $739. Go to the Habitat table. 6, 7.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Bud Light. Top of the 8th inning from Bosse Field. Carter Spivey, the storyline today. He's thrown 7 shutout for Florence, and the Otters trail the Y'alls 1-0. Florence 6 outs away from winning the last 2 games of the series and winning just their 4th road series of the year. Trying to become the 2nd team all season at Bosse Field to take back-to-back games from the Otters. Only Schaumburg has done it this season here at Bosse. John Beamer is going to try to keep it a 1-run game. He'll face 3, 4, and 5 for Florence. Ray Zuber leading off for the Y'alls. Zuber takes the first pitch strike at the knees. Center fielder is 2 for 3 today, and he scored the only run. A leadoff double in the 4th down the right field line. Advanced to 3rd on a wild pitch as Beamer misses outside 1-1, and then scored on a ground out. That is the only run today. One and one, swing and a miss, 1-2. It's a little bit of a homecoming for Zuber, who's from nearby Owensboro, Kentucky, about 30 minutes to the east down the Ohio River from Evansville. But playing with his home state team, the Florence Y'Alls. 1-2, fouled straight back.
All right, the ball brought to you by Ed's Construction. Absolutely. Choose the best. Never right.
One and two. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Zuber. Just 4 hits for the Y'alls, just 2 hits for the Otters. Two and two. Breaking ball misses high and a full count. Otters bullpen is quiet. It's been a busy series. Zach Smith working a quality start. 6 excellent innings, allowing just 1 run. Payoff from Beamer. Outside for ball 4. Leadoff walk to Zuber in the 8th. It's time for a check of the out-of-town Frontier League scoreboard, brought to you by WJPS 107.1. Tune in every Monday through Friday morning for the Otters Daily Update on WJPS 107.1 with Zane Clodfelter. The longest win streak active in the Frontier League appears to be about to end tonight, as Tri-City's 9-game win streak is in serious jeopardy. They trail Empire State 10-1 in the top of the 9th inning from Troy, New York. St. Richardson, righty catcher, digs in. Throw home on the inside corner, a strike. Ottawa and New York rain down in the series finale. They will make that game up in a couple of weeks in Ottawa. Elsewhere in the West, Schaumburg leads Washington 5-3 in the top of the 8th inning. The series on the line at Wintrust Field outside of Chicago. A 1 outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Richardson. Gateway also playing for this series at Joliet. The Grizzlies up big 7-3 over the Slammers. They're in the top of the 7th. Gateway trying to maintain its game lead over Schaumburg in the West. Beamer steps off. Pickoff throws a good one back to first. Zuber just did safely. Lake Erie trying to avoid the sweep to Windy City. The Crushers, since beating the Otters last Wednesday, have lost 6 in a row. They lead the Thunderbolts 6-3 in the top of the 8th inning. Lake Erie has not won a road series all season. Just unbelievable. 1-1. Misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Lake Erie's only won 2 series since June, and both of those series were against the Otters. Trying to salvage a game against the Thunderbolts. Couple other scores. They're in the bottom of the 10th inning in the battle for New Jersey. The Jackals lead the Miners 5-3. The bottom of the 10th from Skyland Stadium. 2-1, runner takes off, chopped under the glove of Reyes at third into left field. Headed to third base is Zuber with that a throw. The Y'alls have runners on the corners with nobody out. Hard hit, base hit for Richardson to the left side. And an excellent chance for Florence for insurance. Brings up Harrison DeNicola. Last score to report on the out-of-town scoreboard. Battle for Quebec. The Capitales lead the Eagles 7-5 in the bottom of the 8th. That's also a series rubber match. That's your out-of-town Frontier League scoreboard, brought to you, as always, by WJPS 107.1. Harrison DeNicola, lefty batter, first pitch home, and for a strike at the knees. I guess it's man bun season for Florence. DeNicola also has long brown hair, pretty similar looking to his manager, Chad Rhodes, but both of them have their hair tied up in a bun. 0-1. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. They also have a couple guys with long hair, kind of a trademark of the team. Beamer throws. Outside, 2-1 to DeNicola. Runners on the corners, nobody out in the top of the 8th. A 1-0 ball game. Every run is huge here. And Florence has a great chance to extend their lead and try to win a big series for them to start the month of August. This would be a gut punch to the Otters to start their playoff run. 2-1. Inside and a hit to DeNicola. Hit him on the foot. Off the left foot, he's in some pain, crouching on the edge of the dirt circle. He's going to start limping down to first base. That will load the bases with nobody out, and Hank Zeisler coming to the plate. The Y'alls athletic trainer Tanner Harned jogging to DeNicola to make sure he's all right, meeting him at the first base back. Zuber at third, Richardson at second, DeNicola at first, with Harned still checking on him. And Hank Zeisler is 0 for 2 today with a walk coming to the plate. The Otters going to start getting Tyler Vale going in the Otters pen. Or excuse me, Hunter Clucky, the lefty, is throwing in Evansville's bullpen. And Max Peterson, the Otters pitching coach, walking out to chat with Beamer. Bases loaded and nobody out. Florence a chance to bust things open in the top of the 8th inning. Zeisler coming to the plate. Florence just had an awful last month, and the Otters might have thought coming in 9 games against the Y'alls in August, this was a chance to run up the win total in a playoff push, but the Y'alls have come to play this week. The pitching far improved. The offense has been tenacious, not necessarily hit a lot, but they've worked a lot of walks and put runners on and made things difficult for the Otters pitching staff. And Florence is a couple swings away here from pretty much putting away the series. Meaning done. Beamer on the right side of the rubber, ready to Zeisler. Throw home. Zeisler lines one down the right field line, but foul. Bouncing into the Otters bullpen. 0 for 2 Zeisler. Walked in the 4th. What a great start to his young pro career. 6th game. Already has 8 hits on the season. Time is called as something out in right field is gotten onto the field. Josh Braun's running to the warning track. Oh, beer can or something dropped out from the Crone Extra patio deck in right field. And I don't know how home plate umpire Chris Dykman saw it. Under the lights here on a Thursday night, but Broughton tosses it back into the seats. And now time is called. They're going to reset the pitch clock here. 0-1 count to Zeisler, bases loaded, nobody out. And the top of the 8th inning, Florence leading 1-0, but what an opportunity they have here. Oh, 0-1, grounded foul. 0-2 to Zeisler. Otters just don't have that many options right now in their bullpen. Kevin Davis has been used back-to-back nights. Jake Polancic used back-to-back nights. The setup and closer typically for the Otters. Beamer will step off again. This has been a disjointed at bat to Zeisler. Oh, 2. Inside, gets back to the backstop, bounces back well to Felix on the grass. And smartly, Zuber doesn't go home. No reason to risk it with nobody out. Got a friendly Otters bounce all the way back to the grass. Nearly hit Zeisler, had to get out of the way. 1-2 count to Zeisler. Bases juice for Florence. They also have struggled all series with runners in scoring position, but boy, do they have an opportunity here to put the series away. What a sweet bus ride it would be back to Kentucky. 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Beamer sets at the chest. 2-2. Lined into right field, coming in Broughton to make a running catch. Tagging from third is nuts. Tagging from third is Zuber. Broughton makes a great throw from right. And Zuber started and then quickly stopped as he saw the bullet of a throw come in from Broughton. Josh Broughton really is built for the outfield in a lot of ways with his athleticism and his terrific arm. The Y'alls have already seen it a couple times today. And Zuber holds up. So a big first out for the Otters. The base is still loaded, and now the shortstop Ed Johnson digs in. He's 0 for 3 today. Ready batter to face the ready Beamer. 38 pitches now for Beamer. He's over his season high. Throws home to Johnson inside 1-0. That's been the series now for the Otters, asking relievers to do a lot more than they've done all season. Zuber at third, Richardson at second, to Nicola at first. 1-0. Popped up into left center field, falling quickly, coming in. Rosario, no, he couldn't make the catch. Bounces on the grass. He'll throw to third, not in time. Zuber scores from third base, 2-0 Florence. Rosario decided not to dive and tried to make the shoe-level catch, but it bounced. Not sure if it either bounced off his glove or never made it to his glove. And Florence has their second run of the game, an RBI base hit for Johnson. Runners go station to station. Zuber scoring, Richardson to third, to Nicola to second. One out for Burks. Just the 6th hit of the game for Florence. Boy, is it a big one. Pitch home to the righty Burks, right down the middle for a strike. Burks is 1 for 3 today. Struck out twice, but a leadoff base hit in the 5th. Otters at risk of losing their first series at home since June. 0-1. Lined into center field. This ball will get down for a hit. 1 run will score from the Y'alls. DeNicola sent from second will score standing up. 4-0 Florence. 2 RBI base hit for Burks, and the Y'alls played 3 in the 8th. And that'll do it for John Beamer. Florence putting together the big inning in the top of the 8th inning. And they lead 4-0. Hunter Clucky coming in for the Otters. Beamer's day is done. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Four nothing. Florence leads after 3 runs coming across in the 8th, and Evansville making a second call to the bullpen. The lefty Hunter Clucky in for a second straight night. 22nd appearance of the season, 4.73 ERA for Clucky. 1 2/3 innings pitched yesterday for Clucky. Allowed just 1 hit, no runs, and got his strikeout at 29 pitches. Was strong yesterday. He'll be used for his second straight day to try to escape the 8th without further damage. 21st appearance of the season for Clucky. The 4.73 ERA. Pitching change brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at 2319 North Green River Road or call at 812-475-9000. At Johnson at second, Jeremiah Burks at first. And it'll be a lefty-on-lefty matchup as the left fielder Lane Hoover digs in. 1 out, 3 runs across in the 8th for Florence. Some of the Otters faithful starting to clear out as the evening lightens. Pitch home, Hoover pops it up into left center field. Coming in, Rosario to make a jogging catch. 2 outs. Quick out for Clucky. Rolls back over to the top of the order, and Brennan Price. He's the 8th batter of the inning for Florence. Y'alls do have a righty warming in their bullpen, so we'll see if that's it for Carter Spivey. Boy, has he been good today. 7 innings, shutout baseball, out just 2 hits. The Otters would gladly face anyone else but Spivey and hope for a miraculous comeback to rescue the series. But first, 2 on and 2 out, and the lefty Price in the batter's box. Clucky southpaw comes home, slider misses outside, 1-0. Otters have the bottom of the lineup coming up in the 8th. Broughton, Felix, and Bosse. Otters have just 1 base runner since the 2nd inning. 1-0. Front door slider. Beautiful, in for a strike, 1-1. Otters, if they lose tonight, would for the first time all season lose 4 games in 4 out of 5 games. They have not lost 4 or 5 games all season. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Otters have been so consistent, only 2 3-game losing streaks. They've been excellent in responding to adversity. Otters are 21-8 coming off a loss this season. But at risk of for a second straight series, winning the opener and then dropping the last 2 games. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Price. Y'alls ended their 5-game losing streak yesterday. Now trying to put 2 together 2-2 count to Price with 2 on and 2 out. 4-0 Y'alls lead in the top of the 8th. Cluckiome popped up out of play.
Brought to you by Heads Construction. She's the best. Never regret it.
Two high and a full count to Price. Fuentes waits on deck for the Y'alls. Clucky looking for the last out of the inning and trying to keep it a manageable comeback for the Otters, trailing by 4. Payoff home, both runners go, lined into right field, a base hit. Hustling from second and out. Oh, what a throw by Braun and what a tag by Felix. He tagged out Ed Johnson on his foot. What a throw from Josh Braun and right. Price the hit, but a bullet by Braun and Johnson diving in. Looked like he'd have home, but Felix caught him on the back of his foot before he touched home. That is unbelievable to end the inning and keeps it a 4-run ball game. We're going to stay here and call the A-Zip Legends of Bosse Field race. William Henry Harrison's on an 8-game win streak, and Harrison on the far left will take an early lead. Oh, we got a big stumble, and now it's Harrison pulling away. William Henry Harrison, Benjamin Bosse on the right side looking for a late comeback. Oh, what? I don't know what's happening here. Now it's Bosse. Oh, Bosse's going to win it. The streak is over. No, it was Bosse. I thought it was Bosse. Really? Am I okay? They're going to say Wright's won. I trust Steven down there. If Bosse won, that would have been his first win since May. I don't know what happened to William Henry Harrison. What a bizarre race. And we're going to have to look at a replay later. So we'll get back to you on the result of that race. I'm not sure. I don't know what happened to William Henry Harrison. An 8-game race streak is gone. And it's possible Bosse ended his endless streak. He hadn't won a race since May. Back to the field, the Y'alls are making a pitching change. The day ends for Carter Spivey. What a day. 7 shutout innings. He allows just 4 base runners, 2 walks, 2 base hits, struck out 4, and worked 4 in-order innings. Y'alls go to the bullpen, though, and the bullpen has not been great this season for Florence. And this is an interesting move. Ernesto Huizar into the ball game for Florence. This is a guy who's been on the IL most of the season for Florence. They've kept him around, and now coming off the IL to be used by Florence in a somewhat tight spot. A 4-run lead. The Otters trying to come back and win the series. Quick peek of the upcoming schedules. Otters home against Schaumburg and then at Windy City next week, while the Y'alls home against Windy City this coming weekend. And they'll be at Gateway. So Huizar coming out of the bullpen here in the 8th. The righty to face the bottom 3 in the lineup for the Otters and Josh Braun. Braun shows bunt, pulls it back, and it misses outside. Huizar, a former Empire State Gray, 6'0", 205 righty from Patterson, California, Southern California. Throw home, misses low, 2-0 to Braun. This is his first appearance of the season. Was talking with Carter Bainbridge, the voice of the Y'alls, about him yesterday. 2-0. Right down the middle, 2-1 to Braun. A guy who was hurt much of the year. The Y'alls kept on the 60-day IL, and he's worked some bullpen sessions, and coaching staff's been patient with him to bring him back. And now Y'alls short-handed bullpen, using him here to try to win a series. Braun swings and misses 2-2. Braun will call time. The Otters happy to see anyone else than Carter Spivey Y'alls have a lefty warming if Weezer gets in trouble. 2-2 on the inside corner, strike 3 called. Weezer starts his first appearance of 2023 with a strikeout looking. One away in the 8th, and it brings up Justin Felix. It's only Felix's 3rd at bat of the day. That's how quiet the Otters have been. 0 for 1 and walked back in the 2nd. Felix's first game since June 2nd. He's on the IL with a broken hand. Weezer on the right side of the rubber, sets below the belts and delivers. Outside, 1-0 to Felix. Otters have had just 1 base runner since the 2nd inning, and they badly need a spark. 1-0 home. On the inside corner, a strike, 1-1. There's been few hard hit balls. There's been almost no runners on base. It has been a rough week for the Otters offense. 1-1 on the inside corner, 1-2. Just a lot of fastballs by Weezer, but he's doing a good job painting the corners. Spivey exited with 97 pitches and in line for his first professional win. One, two. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two home. Inside, and Felix has worked it full. Evansville does not have a walk since Felix walked back in the 2nd inning. These are at the belt. Size the shoulders, the payoff. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Felix shouts to the skies in disdain. Back-to-back strikeouts looking by Weezer to start his outing. 2 away. And Austin Bosse, the second baseman, the last chance here in the 8th for the Otters. And Max Peterson, not thrown out of the game. And quite a confrontation there with Chris Dykeman. Some harsh words exchanged, but Max Peterson stays in the game. Some pointing and yelling, but cooler heads prevail as Bosse takes the first pitch inside. And now Dykeman walking over and saying no more from the Otters dugout. He's heard enough. And Andy McCauley, the Otters manager, jogging in to hear what the problem is all about. McCauley chatting with Dykeman. Certainly frustration by the Otters. Back-to-back strike 3 calls on pitches on the edge of the zone. It's been a tighter strike zone this evening, or a larger strike zone, I should say, this evening. Less walks, far less walks in the first 2 games. It's mostly been a confrontation-free week for Frontier League umpiring crew until today. McCauley left unsatisfied as he goes back to the third base coach's box, and Dykeman back behind home plate. 1-0 count to Bosse with 2 outs and nobody on. Weezer home, right down the middle, 1-1. Weezer falls on the mound and he is down. Weezer is down on a knee on the mound. He went down right away, and quickly the Y'alls coming up. Weezer frustrated now as he gets back to his feet. Obviously he was dealing with an injury, and you hate to see this. Tanner Harned, athletic trainer for Florence, back out. Y'alls already had a lefty warming. Weezer up to a good start to start his season, working all the way back. And he's not going to be able to continue now, unfortunately. unfortunate sight to see. Weezer went down right away as he released the pitch. So he will exit here in the middle of a at-bat. 1-1 count to Bosse with 2 outs, and the Y'alls bringing in a lefty from the bullpen. We'll take a short break and be right back. Florence leads 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Here's a WJPS Frontier League scoreboard for you. Final score, it's Empire State beating Tri-City. That's a final 10-1. Game postponed north of the border, New York and Ottawa. Another final in 10 innings, the New Jersey Jackals with a road victory at Sussex County over the Miners 5-3. Top of the ninth, north of the border, Quebec leads Three Rivers 8-5. Schaumburg with an 8-3 lead over Washington. Top of the ninth there. Schaumburg at Bosse Field the first of 3 tomorrow. Bottom of the eighth, Gateway with a 7-3 lead over Joliet. And also the bottom of the eighth inning, Liberty City with a 9-6 advantage over the Crushers of Lake Erie. That's the WJPS scoreboard. Listen to the Owners Update every morning with yours truly at 8:57 on WJPS during the Bob and Tom Show. We have a call to the bullpen for Florence, 15, Alex Y'Alls.
Welcome back to Bosse Field. Weird situation here in the bottom of the 8th inning as the Y'alls' first reliever out of the bullpen, Ernesto Weezer, having to exit in the middle of an at-bat, hurt on a follow-through, and Alex Tice will come into the ball game, a lefty here for Florence. A 1-1 count with 2 outs and nobody on to Austin Bosse, the Otters' number 9 hitter. Florence leading 4-0. They're just looking for 4 more outs to secure a series victory. Tice's ERA does not look very great, but a little bit deceiving. 5 appearances, a 16.2 ERA in 6 2/3 innings pitched. 2 of his first 3 outings, he allowed 5 runs and then 7 runs, but his last 2 outings were better against Schaumburg last weekend when he combined 2 1/3 innings pitched and allowed just 2 runs on 2 hits, did walk 3 batters. Raced Siney, he was signed right after the All-Star break for Florence. Another young rookie pitcher at a Wright State University for Florence. Big lefty on the bump, 6'0", 225, an Ohio native. He's had a few extra warm-up pitches. He was warming up in the pen, but I don't think he was fully ready to come in when unexpectedly Weezer hurt on the mound and having to exit. So 1-1 count to Bosse, 2 outs, nobody on. 4-0 lead for Florence over Evansville. Bosse's at-bat was already interrupted when the Otters coaching staff got into an argument with home plate umpire Chris Dykeman. Now a couple-minute pause. And this is about as long as an at-bat could ever last. Otters trying to wake up the offense and mount a comeback to rescue the series. 1-1 inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. See what Florence does now. They used their closer yesterday, Brian McKenna, to earn the save, but he only pitched 1 inning. 2-1. On the inside corner, a strike, 2-2. McKenna earned the win yesterday, pitched 1 inning. Terwilliger earned the save, looked good as well. Couple options for Florence in the 9th. 2-2, sails high and a full count to Bosse. Otters just have to get a base runner on them. They don't have one since the 5th. 11 Otters have been retired in a row. The payoff home outside for ball 4. And there finally is an Otter base runner, and the first time Bosse will reach in his professional career. Much needed walk for the Otters. Turns it over to the top of the order, and Noah Myers. 0 for 3 today in his 21 game on base streak on the line. He's been red hot at the plate with hits in 21 of his last 22 games, but he's flown out all 3 times to the outfield today. Lefty batter with 1 on and 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Florence leading 4-0. Pitch home. Myers takes low 1-0. Second on the Otters with a .312 batting average, 79 hits on the year. The heart and soul of Evansville's offense. 1-0. Popped up in foul territory, drifting back to first baseman DeNicola on the edge of the dirt, makes the catch. A walk, but that's all in the 8th for the Otters. Go to the 9th inning. Florence leads 4-0. The Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Tomorrow is E is for Everyone night. That means free attendance. Come to the ballpark tomorrow. You can sit in general admission seating for absolutely no cost to you. Paying consumer and fan. E is for Everyone night. Tomorrow, 6:35. Get here early to get the best seat you can possibly get and general admission seating. If you want a reserved seat, you can still get reserved tickets. EvansvilleOtters.com. Third baseman 3, Brian Fuentes.
Top of the 9th inning from Bosse Field. 4-0 lead for Florence over Evansville. The Y'alls 3 outs away from their first road series victory since mid-July and just their second since June. First pitch missed high and away to Fuentes, 1-0. Hunter Clucky back on the mound for the Otters. He worked the last 2 outs of the 8th. Comes home. Pitch on the inner third, a strike to Fuentes. He went around, 1-1. Y'all scored 1 in the 4th and then plated 3 in the 8th inning to make it a 4-0 score. The Otters have just 2 hits today. 1-1. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Otters have been shut out 6 times this season, but haven't been shut out at home since early June, back on June 9th against Schaumburg. 2-1. High 3-1 to Fuentes. Y'all's pitching staff that allows nearly 7 runs a game, 3rd worst in the Frontier League. They have held the Otters scoreless since the 4th inning of yesterday. 3-1. Inside for ball 4. Leadoff walk to Fuentes.
Center fielder, 5.
Part of the Y'alls' success today, though they have just 4 runs, but they've gotten the leadoff runner on now 5 times today, 6 times making. A lot of it's just been walks, but that's what Florence has done all series. Otters walked 10 batters apiece the first 2 days, and it's been an issue again today. Ray Zuber, another lefty, takes the first pitch strike. Y'alls have taken 7 walks now. That's 27 walks by Otters pitching in this series. 0-1. Front door slider misses outside. 1-1 to Zuber. Just unfathomable that an Otters pitching staff would throw 27 walks in a series. It's not something that Otters pitching, which is best in the league and a variety of statistics, would do. 1-1. Check swing off the end of the bat and trickles foul to the distaste of Zuber. Otters are 4th best in the league, averaging just 3.5 walks a game. Entered the day leading the league in ERA, 2nd in the league in runs allowed a game, 2nd in the league in opposing batting average. And 4 runs allowed isn't awful, but they've just been shooting themselves in the foot with walk after walk. James Crick is warming in the Otters bullpen. 1-2, outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two. Popped up into center field. Myers back. Circling back at the edge of the warning track. Makes the catch. 1 away. 1 out in the top of the 9th. Fuente stays at first as Florence leads 4-0. The Y'alls have not shut out an opponent this season. Now the Otters to just 2 runs yesterday. The Y'alls wins, and there's not a lot of them, just 27 on the season. To go all the way back to June 9th, the last time they limited a team to 1 run. Zayed Richardson takes the first pitch strike. Now the Y'alls pitching staff that's had much success on the year, but Carter Spivey, I mean, this is game number 68 on the season I've watched of Otters baseball. It's certainly one of the better starting pitching performances I've seen by anyone all year. Richardson takes inside, 1-1. Guy who certainly could have been drafted, Spivey, with being the American Pitcher of the Year last year and from a prestigious program. ERA was a little bit higher this year, fluctuated to be a starter and a reliever, not signed or drafted. 1-1, outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Richardson. But what an impression he's made tonight in his 3rd start. So line for the win, 7 shutout innings for Spivey. Just 2 hits, 2 walks allowed, 97 pitches. 2-1 from Clucky. Inside, 3-1 to Richardson. Three one, popped up, right side. Phillips looking up. It's out of play. Schaumburg has beaten Washington 8-3. The Boomers win the series over Washington, while Gateway is 3 outs away from beating Joliet. They lead 9-3 in the bottom of the 9th. So if the Otters lose, they continue to lose some ground atop the top 2 teams in the West. Payoff pitch home. Outside for ball 4. Richardson walks. Two walks sandwiched around and out for Clucky. Harrison DeNicola comes to the plate. James Crick still warming in the pen. Clucky, 2nd straight day coming out of the bullpen at 24 pitches. Y'all's looking for a sweet series win, winning the last 2 games of a series after dropping the first for the first time all season. Have a happy bus ride back to Florence to face Windy City this weekend. DeNicola takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Otters have a big weekend series against Schaumburg, but the Otters with the loss tonight would fall to 5 back of Schaumburg and 6 back of first place Gateway. 1-0. Pumped up high in the air down the right field line and drifting into the seats. Otters lost tonight. They're 6 games back of Gateway, and Washington behind them is 6.5 back of the Otters. So at this point, there's about as much distance for the Otters from first place to being out of the playoffs. 1-1, fouled off the end of the bat, 1-2. This is not a good time for the Otters to get into a slump, especially with the Otters having Schaumburg this coming weekend. And the Otters lose to Florence, it would continue a strange trend of Evansville struggling against some of the worst teams in the West. The Otters woeful against last place Lake Erie this year. 1-2 misses high, 2-2 to Nicola. Otters just 3-6 against the Crushers, who've been in last place for most of the season in the West. Florence has plummeted to join them in the bottom of the standings. The Otters risk giving the Y'alls just their second road series win since early June. 2-2. Grounded right side, could be two. Bosse flips to second base to Skinner, back to first. Double play. 4-6-3, ending double play. Bosse to Skinner to Phillips. Clears the bases in the ninth, and the Y'alls go scoreless. Last chance for an Otters rally to save the series. They trail 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the ninth on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Skip the line or bank from the comfort of your very own home with self-service options at Heritage. Heritage, proud partner of Evansville Otters baseball. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night is for everyone night with post-game fireworks. And I love the rally cap and some of our fans as we have the night here at Bosse Field. Fireworks tomorrow night. The dog days of summer. On Sunday, get those rally caps.
Last chance for the Otters in the bottom of the ninth inning. They trail Florence 4-0 here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Griffin Epstein joining you this evening, and the Otters at risk of dropping the last two games of the series to the last place Y'alls. The Y'alls will keep the big lefty Alex Tice on the mound here for the ninth inning. He came in a weird spot in the middle of an at-bat with 2 outs in the eighth in relief for Nestor Weezer, who had to exit with an injury. Walked Bosse, but then got Myers to quickly pop out to end the inning. Not a safe situation yet. He's going to face 2, 3, and 4 for the Otters. Brian Rosario, Jeffrey Baez, and Dakota Phillips. Rosario 0 for 2 today, walked back in the first inning to extend his on-base streak to now 17 games. Baez and Phillips to fall. Baez 1 for 3, Phillips 0 for 3. Lefty fires home. Rosario switcher to now batting righty to the lefty pitcher. Takes a first pitch high for a ball. Otters have been held to just 2 hits today. Pitch inside, and it hit Rosario. Just barely hit Rosario and back to the backstop, and not the way the Y'alls were looking to start the ninth. A speedy runner aboard at first, but in the end, a 4-run lead for Florence. They're only worried about outs. So Rosario at first. So it brings up Jeffrey Baez, who's 1 for 3. Tice on the far left side of the rubber. High set and throws. High, 1-0 to Baez. Florence bullpen is quiet. Baez 1 for 3, though he had a hit robbed by Ray Zuberer in center field in the 6th. Diving catch. 1-0. On the outside corner, a strike, 1-1. Pretty breaking ball from Tice. Otters in danger of being shut out for the 7th time this season. 1-1. Grounded just foul to the left of the third base back. Baez just missed extra bases. 1-2 count to the big righty slugger. 3,000 Otter fans this evening, still waiting for our first Evansville run. 1-2, high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. "15 straight innings the Otters have been shut out. Two, outside and a full count to Baez. Baez walks, things start to become a little bit more interesting. Payoff home, swing and a miss. A fastball up, Baez strikes out, 1 away. Big first out for Tice to settle down and brings in Dakota Phillips. The lefty on lefty matchup. Phillips 0 for 3 today. He pinched it yesterday in the 9th and struck out. On Tuesday to open the series, he was 1 for 4. Guy who's been hot at the plate over the last few weeks. First pitch to the lefty inside, 1-0. Phillips, 55 runs batted in on the season, 3rd most in the Frontier League West. The Otters trail 4-0 here in the bottom of the 9th, 1 on and 1 out. 1-0 from Tice. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Otters have just 1 run this season. 1 comeback this season when trailing by 4 runs or more, and no comebacks when trailing in the 9th. 2-0, outside, 3-0. If there's a time to do it, the Otters could really use it here. This would be a costly game to drop as they try to catch Schaumburg and Gateway in the West. 3-0. Right down the middle for a strike. Phillips taking all the way, 3-1. Florence winning last night in extras, 5-2, after the Otters held off the Y'alls 6-5 on Tuesday. 3-1, low for ball 4. Tice wasn't particularly close on a lot of those pitches. He hit Rosario, nearly walked Baez. Now does walk Phillips, 2 on with 1 out. And Yomar Reyes stands in, trying to break out of his slump. This would be a big spot to do it in. Otters have the tying run on deck with 2 on and 1 out, trailing by 4 here in the bottom of the 9th. The first time the Otters have had 2 on in an inning since the first inning today. Big righty Reyes. Skinder takes off, throw is inside, and easily down to third is Skinder. Skinder got a huge lead, even if it was a fastball down the middle. I'm not sure a perfect throw by Richardson would have caught him. A slider inside, and there was no chance Richardson would catch Skinder, or catch Rosario, and Phillips goes down to second. 1-0, inside again, and nearly hit Reyes. Back-to-back sliders inside. Reyes is saying it hit him. He's trying to convince on-plate umpire Chris Dykman, but a little bit too late there on the acting job. Pointed to his knee. But a 2-0 count now. Rosario at third, Phillips at second, 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. 2-0, swung on and popped up into center field. Zuber back at the track, looking up, see ya! Yomar Reyes says this series isn't over yet. A 3-run home run to cut the lead to 1. What a way to break out of a slump. 0 for his last 20. A mammoth 3-run home run to straightaway center, just cleared the wall. And it's a 1-run ball game. Carl Craigie, the Florence pitching coach, out to chat with Alex Tice and the rest of the infield. Florence has a bullpen catcher waiting to catch a pitcher, but still no one throwing. A hit by pitch, a walk, and then Reyes ahead on a count 3-1. Got a pitch over the middle and destroyed it for his 5th home run of the season. The shutout is over. Now the Otters want to try to win the series. Ethan Skinder will come to the plate as the tying run, 1 out. Skinder 0 for 3 today. The Otters as well, seeing signs of a comeback, will get their bullpen going. Tice delivers. Skinder takes inside. Was he hit? He was. Skinder hit on the knee. Another slider inside by Tice. Just playing with fire, and it burns him again. And the Otters have the tying run on base and the walk-off run all of a sudden, and Josh Broughton at the plate. Evansville trying for a miraculous victory in a season that's lacked many comeback or inspiring victories for Evansville. Broughton 1 for 3 today. Throw home, inside again, 1-0. Righty pitcher for Florence throwing in the pen. It's tough to see the number in the lights. 1-0. On the inside corner, a strike, 1-1. I believe it's Aaron Run, the righty. It was good when he pitched yesterday for Florence. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Fastball up. Otters on a 3-run home run by Reyes have cut the lead to 1 in the bottom of the 9th. It's 4-3, 1 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1-2 count to Broughton. Tice delivers. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Broughton cannot believe it. The Otters dugout couldn't either. So the Otters down to their last out. How about this? Justin Felix off the IL, hasn't played in 2 months. Comes in here to try to rescue the Otters series. He's the walk-off run, the tying run, I should say, is Skinder at first. Felix 0 for 2 today with a walk. Pitch home, right down the middle of strike. Florence an out away from a series win. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Otters trail 4-3. 0-1. Inside, just missed. 1-1. 1-1. Popped up off the end of the bat. In foul territory, the first baseman, DeNicola looking up. It's off the roof. The Y'alls are a strike away from winning the series. And there's a ball out in left field. Hold on. Florence bullpen throwing a ball into left field, and it's going to give a little more pause here for Tice and Felix. Y'alls a strike away from the win. Reyes a 3-run home run in the 9th, putting 3 on the board and trimming the lead to just 1. 1-2 coming to Felix. Tice at the chest, delivers. Outside corner, ball. Wow. I think Felix thought it was strike 3. It just missed somewhere. 2-2. Pitch home. Check swing, ball low, appeal down to first. Felix went around. Ball game over. Y'alls win. The Otters comeback falls just short in the 9th, and last place Florence comes into Bosse Field and steals the series from Evansville. The Y'alls shut out the Otters for 8 innings. Yomar Reyes, a 3-run home run, brings life to Bosse Field. Otters get the tying runner on, but back-to-back strikeouts for Alex Tice to earn his first professional save, and the Y'alls win back-to-back games on back-to-back days with wins. First time for the Y'alls since June 21st. It'll be a sweet bus ride back to Florence for the Y'alls, and for the Otters, they are going to be scratching their heads as they head into a weekend series with Schaumburg. Final tallies this evening: 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Florence. The Otters, as much as they get the 3-run home run by Reyes, they just did not do anything offensively tonight. Held to just 3 hits, tied for their lowest output of the season, 3 runs and 1 error. The Otters were shut out by the Y'alls for 15 straight innings until the 3-run home run by Reyes in the 9th inning. Florence got 1 in the 4th. Scratch across 1 on Zach Smith, who was excellent today. He will get a no decision, a quality start, his 8th of the season, and then 3 across in the 8th for Florence. And the loss on those 3 runs for Florence in the 8th inning when John Beamer was in to pitch. So the Y'alls win the series here in Evansville, improved to 28-41 on the season, and win just their 4th road series of this season. They stay 15.5 games back of first place, and they'll be back home to take on Windy City this weekend. The Otters dropped 2 in a row for the first time this season. They've lost 4 of their last 5 and fall to 37-31. Evansville now 6 games back of first place Gateway, and I believe this is the most games back, indeed, the most furthest back the Otters have been of first place all season. So not where Evansville wanted to be as they go into a big series with their rivals, the Schaumburg Boomers, this weekend. The 6-game homestand will continue against Schaumburg, and we'll be back on the air here on Flow Sports and the Otters Digital Network. We hope you can join us this weekend. We're expecting a big crowd at the ballpark tomorrow night. If you want to come, you don't need a ticket tomorrow. It is free general admission seats. You don't even need a ticket. We'll let you right into the ballpark and enjoy Otters and Boomers. Some high leverage August baseball tomorrow evening. But if you can't join us at the ballpark, same time, same place, we'll be on the air here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. We hope you join us. We'll be on the air shortly before 6:30 tomorrow. Once again, the final score: Florence takes down Evansville 4-3. The MVP, certainly Carter Spivey tonight. He earns the win for Florence, while for the Otters, the loss suffered by Zach Smith, but he did earn a quality outing. Florence wins 4-3. For our entire excellent Flow Sports and Otters Digital Network team, our producer Pascal Pryor, back with Flow Sports, our director Michael Rust, and the rest of our excellent Otters Digital Network crew, I'm Griffin Epstein saying good night from Evansville as Florence wins this series over Evansville with a 4-3 victory.